And you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this fantastic Wednesday, and we have a lot to get into in today's show. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Cody Tapp is going to join us on the show. We'll get his thoughts, his observations from Chiefs training camp today. We've got a lot to discuss in today's show. For the life of me, I do not understand the WNBA. We'll talk about that coming up in the show today. I want to know if you guys have Christian Fulton inside your Chiefs fan circle of trust. We'll talk about Travis Kelce, and you maybe have heard this, but the Chiefs are no longer going to call their stadium GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. They are just going to call it Arrowhead Stadium. Now, I know that that's something that you've been stuck on for a long time, but I'm here to tell you that our citywide controversy is now over, and we no longer have to refer to it as GEHA Field. We can just call it Arrowhead. It was a tough adjustment, and right when we started to get used to it, they then switch up on us in the final couple of years at Arrowhead Stadium. But here we are. It is no longer called GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. It is just Arrowhead Stadium. I'm excited to be here. Rob is excited to be here. We're taking things up to 5:30 when we hand things off to the Kansas City Royals. In fact, I would like to begin today's show with the Kansas City Royals. There will not be too many more days between now and the rest of the season that's the case. So if you are somebody that loves a random lineup, today will be one of your final random lineups for the 2026 baseball season. Before we get to that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you guys to remember to go stop by and have lunch with our friends over at The Other Place. If you are looking for a place that will give you a plethora, a multitude of options for lunch, then look no further than our friends over at The Other Place. They have 15, count them, 15 lunch options, all priced for less than $10. So if you're a pizza person, if you're a sandwich person, if you're a salad guy, go in there, grab yourself something to eat, maybe get yourself something to drink on a discount, a little happy hour price, get back to work, finish out your Wednesday, finish out your Thursday, whatever day you go, be sure to tell them that Carrington sent you. We love the people over at The Other Place. Usually we would start with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think we would have started with the Kansas City Chiefs if I hadn't gone to the baseball game yesterday. Now, I knew that they were doing something for Salvador Perez, and I don't know why I just thought that it was going to be a pregame, they were going to acknowledge it, and that was going to be it. That was not why I decided to go to the game yesterday. Friend hit me up, said they had extra tickets, and asked if I wanted to go. I looked at the calendar. I saw they had dollar hot dogs. So I said, sign me up. They could have been playing anybody. If it was dollar dogs and a nice summer night, I was headed to Kauffman Stadium. So I get there, and by the time I get there after the show, I don't get a chance to see any of the pregame stuff. So maybe they did something magical for Salvador Perez, and I just wasn't in attendance for it. But as I was there, and you could get the feel and energy of the crowd, it became very clear that a lot of the people that were at Kauffman Stadium yesterday were not there for the same reason that I was there. I was there for the dollar dogs. I was there because the tickets were free. I was there because it was a nice summer night, and in a nice summer night in Kansas City, there are still not a whole lot better options than going to a Royals baseball game. A lot of people there were present to celebrate the career and accomplishments of Salvador Perez. So I'm sitting there and I'm taking all of it in. I text somebody with the Royals and I told them, I said, I hope that you guys do right by Salvy's final game. They replied to me and said, what do you mean? And as I was there and I looked out and I saw maybe 14,000 people, I didn't check how many were in attendance, but you could clearly feel the love that was in the building. You could feel the love that Royals fans have towards Salvador Perez, and it was a fun, nostalgic journey every half inning to take a look at some of the key home runs and moments in Salvador Perez's career. They have a Salvador Perez home run flag. If you look out in right field, where they have the United States flag, where they have the state flag for the state of Missouri, they now have a flag that celebrates Salvador Perez. And in this moment, I'm thinking, I'm having this conversation with the Royals employee, and I'm saying, I don't want you guys to have another one of these days in front of 13,000 people. We owe Salvy more than that. You guys owe Salvy more than that. I don't know if we have too many more Salvy days left in his career. That's not because he's not a great baseball player, but I don't think he's getting the Kobe Bryant treatment a season long kind of thing. I think Salvy maybe has 3 or 4 more days ahead of him. He has his final game, which will certainly be emotional. He has the day that he goes into the Royals Hall of Fame, which we all agree is a no doubt, no-brainer. He's one of the most important players in Royals history. I believe that Salvador Perez at some point should have a statue. I don't think it's going to be at the current stadium. It will probably be at the new stadium. There's not enough time for them to have it at the current stadium. And then I think it's the day that his number gets retired. When Salvador Perez is done playing for the Kansas City Royals, nobody else should ever wear the number 13. I don't care what hotshot prospect they have, the next Bobby Witt Jr., the next Jack Caglione. No one in Royals history, when Salvy is done wearing 13, should ever wear it. The same way like no one should ever wear 5, or no one should ever wear Frank White's number again. It's over. It's done. It's accomplished. He is one of the 4 most important, most impactful players in this organization, this franchise's history. And every time you look up in left field, I don't care if it's at Old Kauffman Stadium or a new Kauffman Stadium, we want you to know that Salvador Perez played here. We love and appreciate him. I just don't want that moment to be on a Sunday. Football season is here. The Chiefs have a 3:25 game against the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Royals are playing the Cleveland Guardians in a game that doesn't mean anything, and it's 13,000, 14,000 people in attendance to say goodbye to Salvador Perez. I'd be perfectly fine if the Royals made an announcement near the All-Star break. They announced that they are changing the rules for Salvador Perez and that they are going to induct him on opening day of the following season, and that they start to have his celebration in the middle of the season. Invite everybody back. Kane should be there. Hosmer should be there. Moose should be there. Ned Yo should be there. Everybody should be in attendance, and you pay respects to the guy that chose to stay. Eric Hosmer did not make that decision. Lorenzo Cain did not make that decision. Mike Moustakas decided to go elsewhere. Alex Gordon chose to stay, but think about how long Alex Gordon has not played for the Royals, and Salvy has been playing this entire time. He has chosen the Royals at every single turn of his career. So I just don't want Salvy's last day, last game, last memories, and us celebrating how important he's been to Kansas City, how important he's been to our sports lives, how important he's been to this organization. I just don't want his send-off. I don't want his final call. I don't want his final stand up at the top of the stairs and wave a cap to everybody. I just don't want that to be in front of 12,000 people in a game that doesn't mean anything. Salvy is so much more important than that. And that was my biggest takeaway from being there yesterday. It was great to see him win. It was great to see Jack Caglione with a couple of big hits. It was good to see Bobby Witt Jr. back out there and playing well. But yesterday was about Salvador Perez, and it was about the love that this city has for him, the love that he has for us, and celebrating one of the great catching careers in the history of Major League Baseball. That's what going to the Royals game was yesterday. So I know that it's football season, and we'll talk about Jalen Moore, and we'll talk about Rashee Rice participating on 11-on-11 drills. But today, all of that pales in comparison to what happened yesterday at Kauffman Stadium in what was a celebration of one of their most beloved players in their organization's history. They showed Salvi's first home run. They showed his first grand slam. They showed all of these things yesterday, and seeing all of the moments, all of the memories, all of the teammates celebrating it. And this was just a constant theme as the day is going on. People have their Salvador Perez signs. The Royals had signs for you to hold up. It was really, really well done. And I'm happy that I made the decision to go to the Royals game last night. Coming up on the other side, we are going to be joined by Cody Tapp. We are going to talk about Chiefs training camp. We'll talk a little bit of Salvi today, but I understand that it's football season, and I'm happy to be talking about Chiefs training camp as well. You guys know the rules. I don't care what season it is. If we start the show talking about the Royals, that means we have to. Rob, hit me!
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington, speaking of Salvador Perez, on today's date in Royals history, Salvador Perez had not yet made his debut. The year was 2011. Here was the Royals lineup on that date in Royals history, multiple days before Salvador Perez opening day with the Kansas City Royals. They, by the way, lost on this date to the Tigers 4-3 at home. Leading off in left field, Alex Gordon. Batting second in center field, Melky Cabrera. Batting third, the designated hitter, Billy Butler. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Eric Hosmer.
This is my kind of lineup right here.
Batting fifth, the right fielder, Jeff Francoeur. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Johnny Giavotella.
Man. You know, Johnny Giavotella was like the Royals version of Jalen Royals. That's who he was. Remember that time where you were like, man, why aren't they playing Johnny Giavotella? And then we realized that nobody was playing Johnny Giavotella.
That was when social media would have died for Johnny G, only to find out Johnny G, not a major leaguer.
For sure.
Batting seventh, the third baseman, Mike Moustakas. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Alcides Escobar. And batting ninth, and why Perez was eventually called up, the catcher, Manny Pena.
The Royals are the best. I love when we do these lineups. It just gives you so much insight on why the Royals are the Royals. On both the good and the bad side. Like, you can tell based off their lineup when they were really good. You can tell based off their lineup when it was some lean years. Now, I do want to encourage you guys for this, and I'm sure the Royals will be very happy that I'm telling you this. Royals.tv, 50% off the rest of the season. So if you want to finish out this Royals season in style and you want to watch every single game, and hey, when they were charging you $100, you were hot about it. It's now $17.99, Rob. If you want to watch the rest of these games, they got the Cubs coming up this weekend. I'm sure they got a couple of big series. You know they're going to get hot in September. I mean, if there's one thing we know about Royals baseball is around September 19th, oh my goodness, they're going to be the best team in baseball. They're going to be on fire down the stretch. Some guy you've never heard of is going to go crazy for the final 10 games, and we're going to be really excited about the prospect of him making opening day next year. I mean, that's the Royals baseball that I've come to know and love in my 37 years as the Kansas City resident. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Cody Tapp. He is at Chiefs training camp. We'll get his thoughts. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Liberty.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Is there anything Albert, my AI financial assistant, can't do? Albert, can you create a financial plan just for me?
Yes. I've reviewed your accounts, income, and spending. Here's your plan and a few suggestions.
Great. Any savings I'm missing out on?
I reorganized your budget and found an extra $500 this month. Would you like me to transfer that to your savings?
Sure.
Done.
Oh, I'm thinking about moving. Can you get me more cash?
Albert can get you a loan up to $10,000 fast. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Looks like Albert really can do everything.
Download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to try Genius, your AI financial assistant, and get up to $10,000. Just download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to try Genius and get up to $10,000. Promo code QUICK.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Cody Tapp. He is with the Midday Show. Cody, how are you doing, my man?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Cody, have you missed me? I haven't seen you in a while, man. Do you need a hug?
No, I'm good on the hug front. I'm ready to be back in studio just the same, but it won't be till Friday. I think we got one more day at camp for us this week, although the Chiefs have practice all the way through Saturday before they give their players a day off.
I don't know if I can go that long without seeing you, my man. Seeing your smile around here really uplifts my day.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some sarcasm in there. I think you'll survive. You'll be all right.
So
Rob
we
can give you extra hugs.
Cody, we actually led the show today with the Kansas City Royals, and we led it with Salvador Perez. Now, I went to the game yesterday because of dollar hot dogs. I knew they were doing something for Salvi, but I didn't really understand the gravity of it until I got there. I mean, it was nonstop nostalgia. They showed so many of his past home runs and seeing so many old faces celebrated. It was just a really cool moment, which then led me to kind of come to the conclusion, man, we don't have too many Salvi celebration days left. It's his final game. It's when he goes into the Royals Hall of Fame. It's when he gets a statue, when he gets his number retired. We have like 3 or 4 more days left in Salvi's career to really celebrate who he is.
You know, other than like hey, it's been 20 years since the World Series champion stuff, no, there won't be. There won't be nearly as much of those going forward. But also, I think it seems franchise home run leader is something. Like even at a number at 318, you might think that's low. It's probably more middle of the pack because lots of other home run hitters end up with the Yankees or Dodgers or some other team. But he's had as many great moments as anyone else. I think a lot of times it's just we probably don't ever appreciate the ones in the moment. Because his name wasn't Brett, and I think everybody just kind of understood that different. Salvi was like 24. He was a kid when they were winning the World Series, and so he wasn't this version of Salvi, or maybe it would have felt different, but he's going to have a statue in the new stadium. So, yeah, I mean, it's soak it in while you got a chance.
It also kind of hit me yesterday as I was watching the game that I'm happy that we're doing this now because Bobby Witt Jr. is going to break this in like 7 seasons.
If he stays with the Royals, yeah, it's over. Although I'll say it's more than you think. Bobby would need to hit like 30 home runs a year for the next like 7 years, 8 years. It's a lot. He's going to have to stay a Royal to do it. If he opts out in 2030, he's not getting Salvi's number. You got to be like a lifer. You got to spend some real time with a franchise to get to that number. And Bobby's going to need to put up one of those seasons like Salvi did, which is throw 40 or 50 or 60 on the, like put up a number one of these years. Salvi did it with 48. Bobby's going to still need to put up some big numbers to do it.
Right now, we're talking to Cody Tapp, 913-586-7965. We'll get to the Chiefs here. Cody, what's been your biggest takeaway? What's the thing that stood out to you most as you're watching training camp?
Today or in general?
In general.
In general, I would say, so like we'd ask kind of the stuff, which is, what are the things you know or don't know? We know the stories like Cyrus Allen or Khalil Benson, or even that Mahomes has mostly looked like himself. I think the thing I've been trying to remind myself as I watch this is, they were not a laughingstock offense last year in a lot of ways. Can they get back to elite status is really what I've been trying to focus in on camp. And with Ken Walker, yeah, is the answer. Like before you get to any of the other wide receiver names or anything else, I think it was Shield Kapadia had put out the stat today, which was the Chiefs were the 4th best team in EPA per play. So just efficiency per play in the NFL last year. They were as good as the Cowboys down to down, but not in the red zone, not in the, not in some of the other areas that you would need him to be. And I just feel like we've probably undersold what having a real running back probably means. And so I've been waiting around at camp just trying to decide if they can get back to elite status. If Cyrus Allen's even like a contributor and Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice are on the field, I think they're one of the 5-6 best offenses in the league this year.
A lot of that to me seems dependent on your trust of the wide receiver room and can you put it together. A point that I made on yesterday's show is it seems like it's been 2 years since we've had real peace with the wide receiver room. There was such a large portion of time that we kept saying, man, can you imagine if they could get all these guys healthy at the same time? And they never really got all those guys healthy at the same time. Coming into this season, a big talking point at the end of last season was, well, they didn't have to play games in December. They didn't have to play games in January. Everybody gets a chance to rest up. They're not going to be banged up, and they're going to be one of the fresher teams in the league. We now sit here, wide receiver number 1's dealing with an injury. Wide receiver number 2 is dealing with an injury. Their training camp darling and Cyrus Allen is dealing with an injury. This wide receiver room is already banged up, and we haven't gotten a preseason game number 1.
Oh, it's a fear. Like I said, I mean, those guys have got to be in the field. In fairness, and it makes it even worse, there has not been a single training camp snap with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Ken Walker, and Travis Kelce on the field at the same time. So, that just hasn't happened. Those 4 guys have not been available at the same time to run 11 on 11. How about that? They've been together on a 7-on-7 snap or whatever. But we haven't seen, here's 11 guys versus our 11 guys, and those 4 guys on the field at the same time, which are the 4 largest contributors. I know it's dependent on that. And look, with the injuries, it just immediately highlighted their bad depth. You're like, oh, Xavier Worthy's out, and you're like, yep, don't like it anymore. And Rashee Rice, he looked like a man who was going to have to continue to work up to being in, football shape. Not like fat, but just, tired. You run him 3 straight days in pads, and the man looks exhausted. So, that's not going to help. But also, I don't know, it's 5 weeks before they play an NFL game? So I guess I'm not, counting injuries just yet. I think it's real to ask if Xavier Worthy can play 17 games. He got dinged up right away. I mean, they're just running routes, and he didn't stay healthy. It's not that he's not tough. He'll play through injury. My question is whether or not he can not have to be injured in order to play. I think that's a more than fair thought.
On the other side of the ball, Cody, I think that the Delane injury is a little bit more serious than they've been letting on. I think they tried to play this earlier like this was regular bumps and bruises. I'm starting to think it's a little bit more serious than that.
Oh, no, they pulled the rug out on that one the other day because originally they were just like, well, hopefully soon. But the other day they said it's going to be 2 weeks before he gets imaging before they get a look at him. That's according to Jeremy Fowler and our guy Nate Taylor. And the Chiefs are essentially, I know it's serious. The Chiefs won't say anything about it. They won't say when they're expecting him back. They don't say they just won't talk about him. He's a ghost. And so if they're going to mum's the word and not put him on the podium or all this other stuff, I think he'll be available for week 1, but I don't know if he'd be starting corners are 99% defensive snap guys. I think you might be looking at a Delane who's available for 65% of week 1 snaps or 70%. Maybe he'll be available by then, but at this point, I guess I'm having a hard time thinking he'll be available at the rate they need him to be by week 1.
Right now, we're talking to Cody Tapp on the Midday Show. Cody, what's your thoughts right now at what appears to be a camp battle at right tackle?
Well, I thought it was kind of, for about a week, I was like, all right, that's fine. That's cute. I've seen enough training camps where fans fall in love with a player, and I'm like, I'm not getting sucked into this. We used to charge people $1 for mentioning Justin Ross on the air, so I didn't want to fall into the trap early. But it's a real camp battle. I think you have 2 schools of thought. You can look at it as the optimist, which is, wow, Khalil Benson, undiscovered gem, guy who wasn't even high on their undrafted free agency list, is going to go out there and maybe win the right tackle job. How good could this kid be? How good is he? Or you could look at it from the pessimist point of view, which is Jalen Moore stinks. Man can't keep a job even from Khalil Benson, losing it to everybody. They paid him $20 million. He can't keep work. So, it just depends on if you're an optimist. I think he kind of looks the part, but I do not like the idea. It scares me thinking that they would start the season on Patrick Mahomes coming back from a serious knee injury with a rookie undrafted free agent as the starting right tackle, because he better be the goods and, be the goods right away. Not oops, rookie mistake. I let Max Crosby blow past me. Watch out, Patrick. So, that, it scares me, is the truth. It could be a good thing that he wins it, but, I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, I'm probably more on the glass half empty side, and it's not maybe in the same ways that you said it. It's just such a poor allocation of resources, and people are going to try to swing this in, well, now you have your swing tackle. Well, the money that you've overpaid now for your 6th offensive lineman, that money could have been a really good wide receiver. That money could have been a really good veteran pass rusher that could have made a noticeable difference. If you have a player on your team that can only play if the other options gets injured, then you just have a poor allocations of fund. Issa Pole should be your swing tackle option. You're not paying a whole lot for it. He just would be a really expensive insurance option for a team that needs better starters, not better depth.
Well, in fairness, yeah, I agree. And the problem is that it would actually make more sense as expensive depth this year if for the same reason. You're paying an undrafted free agent. I think the reason why it feels worse, Carrington, is because that'd be 2 guys that they just don't like, that they paid a lot of money to last offseason to not play. They hate Christian Fulton, right? I mean, are any of us thinking that it's the opposite? They do nothing but bring people in to take his job away. They didn't even like playing when he was healthy last year. So they definitely don't like Christian Fulton. Nate Taylor had told us he thinks he might be like Carlos Hyde, late camp, if all the corners are healthy, trade candidate. So, they might run him out of town, or at the very least, they don't like him enough to play him regularly. So it'd be So you paid a tackle, but you don't want to play him, and you played a corner and you don't want to play him. It's like, why did you pay him at all, in fairness? But the money's spent. Like, to me, it's sunk cost fallacy. If he's an expensive backup now, he's an expensive backup. Unless there's some team out there offering up cash or offering up draft picks in order to take him off your hands, sunk cost. It is what it is. I'm not going to sweat it. But like Christian Fulton, can you find a partner? Can you find somebody to take him? Because they drafted Canada, brought in Kohu, brought back L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, and they didn't play Fulton last year. So that they wasted some money last offseason, but they also had a terrible year, so that's not surprising.
You don't see Fulton as being part of the corner rotation? Because I am thinking, and you're there, so tell me what you think. Now with possibly no Mansour Delane, I think it at least ensures that Fulton will be on the team. Now, is he going to be on the team week 4, week 5, or part of the rotation in week 4 or week 5? But I'm not sure if you can let Fulton go with the uncertainty around the shoulder of Mansour Delane, and you're not certain how available and healthy he's going to be for week 1 against the Broncos.
Like, but like, to me, that's like a pity roster spot. Like, we wanted to get rid of you, but now Delane's hurt, so you got to consider it. I'm not saying it's not possible, but they're still not talking like Mansour Delane is going to miss games. And so, like, he's the one, right? Okay, cool. We got that established. We know that Noel Williams is the 2. I'll just tell you right now, I'd be, like, Canada is going to get some play. I would be surprised. Like, they didn't bring back, like, L'Jarius Sneed probably just make the team. To me, that's the guy who makes the team because – that guy's not available. Maybe there's a spot for him, but I want you to go back to last year. They replaced Shamari Connor in the slot rather than let Christian Fulton get snaps. Connor. And they brought, like I mentioned, Kohu and other guys. I mean, I don't know. He probably makes the team just because they paid him a bunch of money, and he's not super cheap to cut. It's not like they save a bunch by getting rid of him, and I don't know who's trading for him. But he's hurt again. He's got a hip issue. I don't see it with Fulton at all, and I don't think the team really wants to play him much.
What do you make of Peter Woods? Because I understand that some of these other storylines, they've really soaked up a lot of the attention. Woods, to me, has really been flying under the radar, and he's a guy that fans should really be starting to get excited about.
I never understood. It was probably 2 months ago we had the conversation. I didn't understand why we were spending so much time talking R. Mason Thomas and not the first-round pick at defensive tackle. He's good. Like, that thing, at least you can see it, at least in these practices. He can play. I'm really high on what he's capable of doing. And what's most exciting about it is changes defensively a lot of what you can do if Woods can play the inside and get a pass rush. It makes an occasional outside Chris Jones defensive snap possible, or the idea that both those guys are getting pressure makes the edge job easier. But I think he's really good. And most importantly is probably both the short and the long-term part of it, because Chris Jones ain't going to play forever. And defensive tackles who are a problem for a lot of teams are few and far between. There's like a handful of guys you really worry about in the league. I just need to make sure he plays more than Tonga. I just don't want Spags to be like, well, I like the old stalwart, so let's make sure it's that. I just want Peter Woods down there every snap, or not every snap, 50% or whatever defensive tackles play.
Cody, what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
God, let me think. Probably Billy Madison. That's of my generation. That's probably the one I've seen the most. Trying to think if there's a one that I would give a different answer to. No, it's probably Billy Madison.
Do you like Adam Sandler movies more or Eddie Murphy movies?
Eddie Murphy. But I would say that I don't have anything against an Adam Sandler movie, but I'm far more likely to rewatch an Eddie Murphy movie at any particular stage. Like, I've watched, Trading Places or any of those way more multitudes than I have probably any Adam Sandler movie that isn't Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, or, I don't know, maybe Big Daddy or something.
That is our guy, Cody Tapp, joining us on the show today. Cody, drive safe. I look forward to seeing you here in a couple of days.
Appreciate it. See you on Friday, Carrington.
Absolutely. That's my guy, Cody Tapp, joining us on the show today. I want to read this text really quickly. And this is something that we should have talked about yesterday, but I just got distracted with other things. C-Dot, you already know why Jalen Moore is here. They didn't know that Simmons would be available after signing him. Would you rather them just hope Simmons would be available in the draft without drafting or without signing a free agent tackle at the time? I've started to learn the more you do this, when everybody has one opinion, there is usually something that's wrong. Like, to me, you're buying the Chiefs spin, the Chiefs propaganda. That is the saying that everybody is having. Let me tell you how my brain works and why I am a little bit on the opposite side of this. Number one is, you are telling me that their plan was we like Jalen Moore so much, he is our starting left tackle. And their plan B was, we don't think there's a spot for him on the field. Because they basically, since their plan changed with Josh Simmons, they have not seemed to have a plan for him on the field and do not think that he is a good enough right tackle to just outright earn the job. He couldn't beat out Jawan Taylor when Jawan Taylor had happy feet like he was a kid's movie. And this year, he is in the only camp battle on the entire team. So plan A was starting left tackle for a defending 3-time AFC champion. Plan B was backup rotational swing tackle. Big gap in between. Now, this might be a little bit hindsight, but they didn't have to draft Josh Simmons if they liked Jalen Moore. Like, we don't even have to play the hindsight is 2020 game. Rob, after Josh Simmons, it's nothing but hits. Now, I don't think they were going to take a linebacker with the 32nd overall pick, but the linebacker that went to the Browns, Carson Schweinsinger, is that how you pronounce his last name?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
One of the best young defensive players in the National Football League. Now, I'm not saying that Josh Simmons is not a more valuable player. He plays left tackle. This guy plays off-ball linebacker. Yes, you'd rather have the offensive tackle. Wide receiver is still a need for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 wide receivers taken directly after Josh Simmons are Jaden Higgins, who would be the best wide receiver prospect that they have on their team, and the next one after that was Luther Burden. Are the Chiefs better off if they had Jalen Moore as their starting left tackle and had Luther Burden in the mix right now? Do you feel better about the Chiefs right now than how you feel about with Josh Simmons and their current options? Do you feel better about the Chiefs if they select Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson with the 32nd overall pick, and now the money that they just spent on Kenneth Walker, they can now spend that either at wide receiver or defensive end? So I hear what people are saying about Josh Simmons, but sometimes I think we have the Josh Simmons conversation like there was no other possible options. There was a possible option. If you really liked Jalen Moore, who's 25 years old, hey, we already got our left tackle. Let's go in a different direction, and you can still be a really, really good roster. Now, I'm not mad that they selected Josh Simmons. Please don't take that like if you like this guy, then you take that player and you figure out the rest of the roster. I think where I really push back on Jalen Moore, it's like, we love this guy to be our left tackle. Oh, well, he can't be our left tackle anymore. Well, I guess he can't help us anymore. So you threw the money away. You threw the money away then. There's no other way to put it. If you really liked this blender, but then you knew that it was a no return policy, and now a better blender for cheaper, and you buy that one, that first one, you wasted the money. You can't get those resources back. So your option, if you spent this money on Jalen Moore, was to make it work at another position, and they haven't made it work at another position. If he was their starting right tackle next year, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And you could sell me on that in year one that, hey, we got our left tackle of the future. We got our right tackle. We need to burn it out. We wouldn't be having these conversations about Jalen Moore if he just outright won the job. Tell me anybody else on the Chiefs that's currently in a position battle. Who? Because if we're having that conversation, they're further down the depth chart. We're having a conversation about wide receiver number 4. We're having the conversation about cornerback 4, not one of the starters. He's the only starter that's currently in a position battle. That's not good for a guy who's the 5th highest paid player on the team.
I also think another reason why we can poke holes in that fallacy, and it's a common sentiment, and I agree with you, it's a false sentiment, but it's a common one. Do you know how Jalen Moore's contract was structured? They could have cut him at the end of last season. They would have had Josh Simmons on the roster, had Jalen Moore. They would have gone through the draft process the year later, and they could have just outright cut Jalen Moore. So if they were like, hey, we're going to sign Jalen Moore. Oh, man, Josh Simmons fell into our lap. Hey, the money's spent. We have to just eat it in 2025. They then retained him for 2026. He didn't have an out, but he had a very low cap hit cut. and they decided to keep holding on to him.
They could have moved on and then have those resources somewhere else.
They had a plan. I don't think it's a good plan, but they have a plan.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, at least I said, like, if that's your take is their plan was him to play left tackle, their plan changed. Hindsight is 20/20. That's fair. What was then the plan B for the guy that your big play in free agency? We're not talking about a guy that's making 2 years, $8 million. Last year, their number one free agent. Can you imagine right now if we were having the conversation that Emmett Johnson was their number one running back? Yes, I'd be having the conversation. You wasted the money on Kenneth Walker. What are we doing here? If we were having the conversation right now that Emery DeMarcado was their RB1, you'd be thinking, then why did we just spend $14 million on a running back? That's how I feel about Jalen Moore. You spent a significant amount of money that could have been used to help your pass rush problem. If you had $14 million, you could have got a veteran pass rusher. You could have got Boye Mafe if you had the cap space available. You could have got Stephon Diggs. You could have got Deebo Samuel. But now your resources have been depleted, and one of your big assets and big things that you're spending money on, he counts for 7% of their salary cap. He might not start for the team. That's, to me, why this is an issue and why it's a talking point. All right, coming up on the other side, Rob, let's talk a little bit about Travis Kelce. I've been seeing a lot of cuts, a lot of highlights from him at training camp. I think we need to acknowledge how remarkable it is what he's doing. We'll do that next. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Are high-interest credit cards and rising bills stressing your budget? You pay every month, but high interest makes getting ahead feel impossible. Your home's equity can help. A refinance with Golden Oak Lending consolidates debt into one manageable monthly payment, giving your budget room to breathe. Get a free mortgage checkup today. Call 913-890-GOLD or visit goldenoaklending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD. It's Golden Oak Lending, MLS 114937.
Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, you could be trading over at Milwaukee. They're trading at 10.9%. That meaning a $100 trade over on Kalshi would net a $860 return. Not too bad. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. And as that probability changes, say Milwaukee becomes more likely, you can buy in and out of that position. Download the Kalshi app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $500 in bonus credits when you trade just $25. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 $1,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This afternoon, expect showers and thunderstorms with a high of 84.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
Text line 913-586-7965. It's very interesting to me how far apart we are when it comes to this Jalen Moore thing. That's really the interesting thing to me. We can move on from it, at least for right now. I just see a lot of people, what does the salary cap matter? I mean, the fifth highest guy on the salary cap for the Rams is Devontae Adams. The fifth highest paid guy on the Chiefs salary cap is Jalen Moore. Describes why one roster is significantly better than the other roster. Feel like where the money and where you spend it normally is indicative of the kind of team that you are building. That's why I think the Jalen Moore thing matters. They're spending a lot of money for something they're not getting a great use for. And if you could then reallocate those funds elsewhere, it would give you the ability to add other players to your roster. But you have a significant amount of your cap tied up into a player that does not help you, does not start for you, is not a major contributor for you. That's the talking point to me when it comes to Jalen Moore. All right, let's talk about this with Travis Kelce. Now, I know that this show has been accused of being the anti-Travis Kelce show, and I'm not nearly as anti-Travis Kelce as you guys think. My point with Travis Kelce has been very simple, and regardless of what you think, I do think it's played itself out. I don't think your offense can be very explosive if that guy is your number one option. And I think the decline and the erosion of the Chiefs offense is almost a one-to-one correlation with the same time that started happening with Travis Kelce. So my issue necessarily isn't that Travis Kelce can't help you anymore. He certainly can help you. We can't be going into age 37 years old and we're still talking about Travis Kelce being your number one option. But just as a potential secondary role player, he is still a very viable player. So Rob and I looked this up. Over the last 25 years, I wanted to know how many players over the age of 35 had a season that was equal to Travis Kelce or a little bit better than Travis Kelce. Who are the guys over the age of 35 who have had at least 800 yards in a season? And it is some pretty elite company. It's Seattle Seahawks' Jerry Rice. It's Jimmy Smith with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was actually a very good player. Remember, they had Keenan McCardell and they had Jimmy Smith. They had a pretty good 1-2 punch there for a while. Joey Galloway, who was still actually a burner at that stage in his career with Tampa Bay. T.O. with Cincinnati, his last year had 983 yards and then was just like, hey, I'm done playing football. But T.O. probably still could have played for a couple of more seasons and was still pretty productive. Tony Gonzalez in Atlanta, Tony Gonzalez never really fell off. He just decided to retire one day. There wasn't the gradual decline with Tony G the way you see with other players. Kind of like what you saw with Julio Jones. Kind of like what we just saw happen with DeAndre Hopkins. You wake up, you got 1,000 yards, the next thing you know, you're cooked, and now you're an assistant coach at Georgia Tech. That happened real quick for DeAndre Hopkins. And that never really happened with Tony Gonzalez, Tim Brown, and Chris Carter. And Travis Kelce. Like, that's the list of guys over the last 25 years who have been this level of productive at this stage in their career. We're talking about, he is one of the oldest pass catchers in the National Football League. And football, I always say, football is a game that is best played from people between the ages of 22 and 28 years old. So every year that you get on the opposite side of that and further away from 28, the more remarkable it is that you can still be as good as Kelce still is, still as valuable, and still be able to help a team. But, I mean, we're at the Jerry Rice portion of his career. We're at the Jimmy Smith portion, the T.O. in Cincinnati. We're at the Joey Galloway portion. So I will continue to maintain the best thing for the Kansas City Chiefs this year, because we just had Cody on the show, and Cody thinks they can be a top 5 offense. They cannot be a top 5 offense if Travis Kelce is their wide receiver number 1 option. They can be that if Kenneth Walker's their number 1 option, Rashee Rice is their number 2 option, and Xavier Worthy is their 3rd option, and now Kelce's now their 4th option. But if you think that this team has a chance to have a dynamic offense, they cannot do it if, again, Travis Kelce is getting 110 targets and has 875 yards, and he's their primary option on 3rd down. They cannot be an explosive offense if that continues to be the case.
We can go back to Travis Kelce here in 1 second. How many times is Jerry Rice on that list? Oh, my God.
A bunch.
Like, Jerry Rice at 41. The NFL was a passing league. It wasn't like it is now. Goodness gracious. Jerry Rice might be actually underappreciated as maybe the best receiver of all time. But I think this is why people like me are fearful of the other shoe dropping with Travis Kelce. What they are getting out of him is really remarkable. It is not like that list was 36 people deep. It's 12, 13 guys deep, and like 11 of them are Hall of Famers. It's pretty rarefied air what he's doing because he's special, because he's sensational. But it, by all metrics, is the outlier. Doing that at that age is not the norm, and I worry that Chiefs fans have started to think you can pencil Kelce in for $850 to $1,000 every single season because that's what they've done. And one day he does turn into Julio Jones. One day he does turn into D-Hop. One day he does turn into Odell Beckham, where he goes from, man, he's doing stuff we haven't seen before. Look what he's doing. Wow. To all of a sudden he looks like a regular 36-year-old. The Chiefs offense cannot afford to have that happen this season, which is why I think they need to give the target share to Rashee Rice. But those stats just do show it is a special, special group that Travis Kelce is in. Like, I know he's going to Canton one day. He needs a little special area inside of Canton.
Yeah, for sure. Text line 913-586-7965. I'll read these top 2 texts. C-Dot, when was the last time they had a top 5 offense? The Chiefs last had a top 5 offense back in 2022. They went 14-3 that year. They won the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles. They scored more points than any team in the National Football League. That was the year that Patrick Mahomes won MVP. He was phenomenal that season. He threw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdown passes and had a 105 quarterback rating. That was the last great Travis Kelce year. 110 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Juju was also really good that year. Juju had the 933. MVS was their number 3 option. He had 700 yards, and then you kind of get in where you fit in. Somebody else just said this. You guys don't get to play this Travis Kelce card. You guys have been the biggest hater in the country. Stay on that side, you bums. Again, I will continue to maintain their offense the last 3 years, they have been ranked 15th, 15th, and 21st. Travis Kelce has been their number 1 option each of those years. I do not think that is a surprise. I know people might disagree, but if you want to know, in my opinion, why their offense has stalled and why it is so important for Rashee Rice to figure it out this year, why it is so important for Kenneth Walker to figure it out, it's that Travis Kelce at his age cannot be your most important player anymore. We can't be having these same conversations about Travis Kelce this year if you're talking about seeing this team get back to being a title contending team. Not when the Broncos' number 1 option is Jalen Waddle. Not when the Patriots' number 1 option is A.J. Brown. Not when your biggest contenders are investing in guys who are under 30 years old, and the Chiefs are going to get back to prominence and get back to being on top of the AFC with a 37-year-old Travis Kelce in October. I will continue to maintain that fact. So can Kelce be a role player for you? Of course. Can he get in where he fit in, and can he help this team? I think it would be better for the Chiefs if Travis Kelce has a worse season this year. If he has 80 targets and 650 and 700 yards receiving, and that means you really emphasize Kenneth Walker, that means that Rashee Rice put it together and put through a big season, that means that Xavier Worthy turned out to be a really productive player. Basically, if you think Chad O'Shea is going to work this year and you believe in the power of Chad O'Shea and how he's going to transform this wide receiver room, that means some of the food's got to come off Kelce's plate and it got to go to those other guys. And ultimately, I think that is the best thing for the Chiefs. I will maintain this all season long. The Chiefs need to start emphasizing their players under the age of 30 years old, and they cannot continue to over-rely on Chris Jones, who could possibly be in his last season on the team, and Travis Kelce, who we think is in the last season on his team. Like, they got to start this process over again, and they got to find the stars of tomorrow. They need to find the guys who are going to be stars when they are going into a new stadium. They need to start developing those guys right now who are going to be the decade-long potential Ring of Honor guys. Those guys have had their time. It's time for those guys to step back and play more secondary roles, and you allow a guy like Rashee Rice to step in the forefront, and people consider him to be a top 15 receiver in the National Football League at the end of the season. We'll keep the Chiefs conversation going. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler craftsman at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, not with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, baseball fans. Think you know who's going to hit a homer today? Well, FanDuel's giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining in on the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at even extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose, but you have a lot to gain. And you can make your free pick every day during the MLB season. It's just another way that FanDuel is your home for the home runs. Ready to play your game today? Join in on all the action at FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Is there anything Albert, my AI financial assistant, can't do? Albert, can you create a financial plan just for me?
Yes. I've reviewed your accounts, income, and spending. Here's your plan and a few suggestions.
Great. Any savings I'm missing out on?
I reorganized your budget and found an extra $500 this month. Would you like me to transfer that to your savings?
Sure.
Done.
Oh, I'm thinking about moving. Can you get me more cash?
Albert can get you a loan up to $10,000 fast. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Looks like Albert really can do everything.
Download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to try Genius, your AI financial assistant, and get up to $10,000. Just download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to try Genius and get up to $10,000. Promo code QUICK.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER.
Tune in to Cody and Gold starting at 10 as they broadcast live from Chiefs training camp with exclusive one-on-one interviews and real-time updates from practice. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, Rob. We are coming to the end of an era. The Chiefs made the announcement earlier today that it will no longer be named GEHA Field, that they are once again returning to simply Arrowhead Stadium. Now, I know this news is devastating to you guys because GEHA, they've been such an important partner to the Kansas City Chiefs. And it is a name that we all have rallied around. It is a name that we all wear with great pride. Like when you're out of town and someone asks where you're from and you say, oh, I'm from Kansas City. And you're like, yeah, I am. And like, oh, big Chiefs fan. And you're like, yeah, of course. And you tell them, you know what? You should come to GEHA Field and tailgate, and the sights and the sounds and the smells of the parking lot. You know, you should be there. Those are conversations that you have. You know, wasn't in our life for a very long time. You know, it started in 2021. And I remember where we had to learn exactly how to say it. Rob, you remember we were calling it GEHA? Like, we didn't know how to say it. Somebody had to explain to us, no, that's not how you say it. You got to spell it out, GEHA. Then we had to learn exactly what it means. Now, I still don't know what it means, but I do know that the G is for government. Do you know what GEHA stands for, Rob? I think G is for government and A is for association. I do not know what the E and the H stand for.
It's Government Employees Health. I don't know what the A is for.
Got it. All right.
Government Employees Health, I know is 1, 2, 3.
Okay. This is sad. Now, nobody has told me this. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know that badly. But this is my guess on what happened. They had to take the GEHA down because of the World Cup. They had to take it down. FIFA would not allow any sponsorship on the stadium. They had to take it down. Now, I'm going to guess that it cost to take it down. I'm also going to guess that it costs for them to put it back up. Somebody has to do the work. Somebody has to physically go up there, grab the crane. You got to hire somebody to do this. I'm just going to guess, just in my dealings with the Chiefs, that the Chiefs didn't want to pay to put it back up. I'm going to assume that they had reached a 5-year deal, 21 to 26. You now got to put it back up there. And the Chiefs now tried to hit GEHA for a little bit more money. Hey, we only got a couple more years in this stadium. It's now time to pony up. Do you guys want to be the naming partner for the final season at Arrowhead Stadium? We just hosted the World Cup. Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. Hey, price of the brick done gone up. We gave you this back in 2021. It costs a little bit more money now to do all of these things. Do you guys want to renew your deal? I'm assuming that Mark Donovan slipped that invoice to the people over at GEHA. They saw that invoice and said, "Nah, we good." The people don't call it that anyway. That's not a name that we've adopted. Now, I still call it the Sprint Center, even though it's the T-Mobile Center. We still call it Sandstone Amphitheater. What the hell is Azura? You think we were calling that place GEHA Field? They looked at their bottom line and how much they were paying for the naming rights on a stadium that none of the locals call it. They just had an event in which 1 billion people were watching. Their name's nowhere on the stadium. And now we're about to pay more money to have our name on this stadium. And I think they said no thanks. But it was important to note in the press release that they're keeping the partnership. Yeah, you guys signed up for the cheaper package. I don't want to cancel my gym membership, but I'm not going as much as I was going before. You guys signed me up for the gold package. I'll take the silver. That's cool. And you guys got a bronze pack. I think GEHA signed up for the bronze pack. They were paying for the gold. They were paying for put our name on the stadium. But now the Chiefs keep playing in these 325 games. They keep playing on Monday Night Football. They're hosting World Cups now. They're talking about hosting the Super Bowl, and GEHA don't want to pay the new price on the brick. Now, somebody asked me this earlier. Do you think the new stadium will have naming rights? I think they will sell anything attached to that stadium. I think it might be GEHA Field as Sprint Stadium on Lamar Hunt Field. I think they will sell the road going to the stadium. I think they will sell the district that it's in. It'll be Ballpark Village, sponsored by Verizon. I don't think anything is sacred to them. I think they'll sell anything. Literally anything. So, yes, I do think the new stadium will have a naming right. I think they're doing that right now. I think they're already securing that bid for what the new stadium is going to be. But that is my theory on what happened to GEHA Field.
Oh, first off, they're going to sell everything at the new stadium. It's going to be the Google Fiber Dome on Verizon Field, at Bucky's Driveway, here at Arrowhead Stadium. Do you think there may be a chance they're doing this to, quote, honor Arrowhead on its way out the door? Hey, GEHA's contract expired. That 5 years is over. We don't want to renew for their 5 years because in 5 years we're out of here and we're just going to call it Arrowhead for 5 seasons. Like, I think I don't know this. It just seems like there's probably more to this than just, hey, we're getting away from GEHA for a little bit. Something more is at play. I don't know what it is, but it feels like something more is at play.
They didn't want to pay it. Somebody said, do you think the tailgate zone is going to be sponsored? Absolutely. I think they will sell anything to this new stadium. I don't think anything is sacred, honestly. I think the signs on where you park will have sponsors on them. I think right now where you say, oh, when you call your friend, hey, where are you at? Oh, I'm in A9. I think you're going to be saying that you're in Hunt's Ketchup 9. I think they will sell anything attached to this next stadium.
So you think instead of Gate A leading to Lot M or the red lot, it's going to be
the Hy-Vee lot.
The Hy-Vee lot, which is connected to the Heinz Gate. That's what you're going to have to tell people?
I think they will sell if it's not nailed down, I think they will sell it. Somebody said the GEHA spiral at Arrowhead. Absolutely. I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't think they have any shame over there at Arrowhead. Mark Donovan has told you that. You think they're doing all this moving to not capitalize? No, they're capitalizing Oh, that practice facility is going to be nasty. That practice facility is going to have ads on it like it's a baseball outfield. That's how they're going to do it. At training camp, you're going to be walking into an advertisement.
And you're not walking in for free.
Oh, free?
Those free camp days are done in Olathe.
Yeah, no, they're going to charge you to go to training camp, and then when you buy something, the sales tax that you bought something for is not directly going to go to help pay for their stadium. They got a racket they've created over there in Kansas, a real racket they've created.
Do you think we'll look back at that Chiefs-Bills game and call it the greatest game in GEHA Field history, or does that just disappear forever?
Oh, for sure, 100%. GEHA Field had some great moments.
Yeah, that GEHA Field saw more Super Bowls than the rest of Chiefs' time combined.
Of course, I'm telling you. They can that's how you know the dynasty's over. GEHA Field's like, we're not in it anymore. GEHA Field just lets you know that the dynasty's over. We don't want to be attached to you guys anymore. Hit us up when you start winning games again. That's how you know. But we had some great times in GEHA Field. The World Cup was there. The Eras Tour was there. Beyonce was there. 13 Seconds was there. We had a lot of great times at GEHA Field. I'm sad to see it go. What an era we had. I mean, a real timeless era of Chiefs football. If you guys missed it, the Chiefs, they are taking GEHA's name off of the stadium. It will once again be known to Arrowhead Stadium. That's it. Just Arrowhead.
This is I don't have a pulse of the fan right now because August. I'm surprised with the people in the text line who are saying the next stadium can't be called Arrowhead. They're going to call the next one Arrowhead, right? I mean, with all the corporate sponsors.
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
I just figured, hey, we're building a new Arrowhead. We're going to call it sponsor Arrowhead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand the question you're asking, and I wish I had a better answer than I don't know, but I think anything is possible. I mean, I want them to call it Arrowhead Stadium, but I don't know if they're calling it Arrowhead Stadium. Are the Broncos calling their new stadium Mile High? Because the Broncos they had an old stadium. They then built a new stadium right next to it, and they did basically what the Chiefs did. It was called Sports Authority Field, and they had some other Invesco Field or whatever, but it was kind of like GEHA Field. It was GEHA Field at Arrowhead. It was Invesco Field at Mile High Stadium. But now that they are moving away from that area and moving to the suburbs, I don't have the answer to this. Are the Broncos calling their new stadium Mile High? Like, I could see them calling the stadium, Hunt Family Field or something of that, like that pays respect and tribute to them, basically. I could just see that being the case. But it will absolutely have a sponsor. Like, it will have a sponsor. Like, it will have a sponsor. Like, are any of these new stadiums being built without a sponsor? Does the Tennessee Titans Stadium not have one? Does Buffalo's new stadium not have one? Like, if you're building these new stadiums, you've clearly communicated you're trying to maximize every single possible revenue option. That's an easy one that doesn't cost you anything. Hey, AT&T, how much are you willing to pay to put your name on the side of the stadium? Great. This is how much? Fine. We'll put it up there. That seems like a no-brainer to me.
I can't think of the last stadium that was built that had a non-corporate name.
What do you think the Royal Stadium's going to be called?
That's a good question. I assume Crown will be in the name. That's what I actually think.
I actually don't think they're calling it Kauffman Stadium.
I don't think they're going to call it Kauffman, but I think Crown.
I just don't know if you're calling the new stadium the name after the old owner.
I don't think it's going to be Sherman Stadium, though.
I don't think so either.
I think it's going to be something tied into Crown, like Crown Center Stadium. I think there will be some hallmark handshake deal there.
I think it's far more likely that the new Chiefs Stadium is called Arrowhead than I think the Royal Stadium is called Kauffman Stadium.
I agree with that.
I do not think the new Royal Stadium will be called Kauffman Stadium.
I think they'll both have corporate sponsors, but I agree with that.
For sure. I'm curious what the text line thinks. 913-586-7965. All right, coming up on the other side, let's get back to the Kansas City Chiefs. Cody said something really interesting about Christian Fulton. Let's talk about it. Keep it right here, Sir Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Participation may vary.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. The last 3 days of our summer sale are here. Save from 30 to 50% on suits, sports coats, and sportswear at Peter's Clothiers. Find the look you want at the price you'll love. Visit Peter's Clothiers at 124th and State Line. Sale ends soon.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
You're looking to the left lane that is blocked. I see some red, a lot of red. It is building, actually. So it's 71 southbound as you approach 85th. You're going to want to scoot to the right through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Someone on the text line offers up a very good suggestion on what the new Royal Stadium could be called. Community America Ballpark is actually a really strong corporate sponsor name. Community America Ballpark at Crown Center is a really good name. That's one of the better corporate sponsored names they could have. Like, I don't know what it's going to be. We're just having the conversation because the Chiefs they're going back to Arrowhead Stadium. It will no longer be GEHA Field. That's a really good corporate sponsor name. Community America Ballpark.
That's what's now Legends Field used to be called.
I could just see it being Commerce Bank or one of those local, you got a decent amount of money, you already got a partnership with the Kansas City Royals. I could just see it being something like that. Like I could see Commerce Bank spending the money to be the corporate sponsor for the team. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Isn't J.E. Dunn part of the ownership group? I could see that, something like that. I just think they're going to work Crown Center into it in some capacity.
I'm gonna call it New Kauffman regardless. New Kauffman and New Arrowhead, but I understand on the broadcast they're not gonna call it that.
Are you gonna call Old Arrowhead a data center, or are we gonna call it?
I don't know. I'm hoping they make it a horse track.
They might make it this beautiful San Antonio Riverwalk. That's what Phil Lavoda showed us.
That might be it. You know what it'll probably be? Apartments. It'll be a loft. That's what it'll be. It'll be like a loft. You're like, oh, where are you staying? Oh, I stay at Kauffman Apartments. Oh, really? Yeah, no, it's going to be the place to stay. It's going to be great. Someone said, do you think they'll just call it Busch Stadium or Yankee Stadium? Keep it. I think it would be different if the Chiefs were building a stadium right next to it. I think the fact that they're moving. They're not moving out of the area, but that's a significant change. This isn't we're just moving across the street. I understand why the Cardinals kept the name. I understand why the Yankees kept the name. If you're doing what the Chiefs are doing, I don't think you can just call it Arrowhead Stadium. I think you have to call it something different, and I think that's what they're going to call it, just something different. And we'll obviously find out over time what the new stadium is going to be called. It's been a while since we've done this, Rob.
With the knowledge you've been given, you are now on the inside of what I like to call the Burns family circle of trust. See, if I can't trust you, Greg, then I have no choice but to put you right back outside the circle. And once you're out, you're out. There's no coming back.
Well, I would definitely like to stay inside the circle.
Let me ask you guys about Christian Fulton. Because right now, the Chiefs cornerback room a little bit banged up. L'Jarius Sneed, his knees could give out at any moment. Kader Kohu, he didn't play last year. Just didn't play. Mansour Delane, beat up shoulder right now. We don't know when Mansour Delane is coming back. Is Christian Fulton inside the Chiefs fan circle of trust? We had Cody Tapple on the show earlier today, and he said the Chiefs don't even like him.
They hate Christian Fulton, right? Are any of us thinking this the opposite? They do nothing but bring people in to take his job away. They didn't even like playing him when he was healthy last year. So they definitely don't like Christian Fulton. Nate Taylor had told us he thinks he might be like Carlos Hyde, late camp if all the corners are healthy, trade candidate. So, they might run him out of town, or at the very least, they don't like him enough to play him regularly. So it'd be so you pay the tackle, but you don't want to play him, and you play the corner, and you don't want to play him. It's why did you pay him at all, in fairness? But the money's spent. To me, it's sunk cost fallacy. If he's an expensive backup now, he's an expensive backup. Unless there's some team out there offering up cash or offering up draft picks in order to take them off your hands, sunk cost.
This is where I personally struggle, and this is why I'm happy to have this conversation with you guys. I've long said those 3 games at the end of the season, they just don't really hold a lot of value to me. Now, I understand if they hold value to you guys, but those preseason games they played, those scrimmages they practiced, when they were just playing out the stretch, what have you been able to take from them? Because, Jalen Royals didn't get to play until that time. He appears to be on the outside looking in of the wide receiver conversation. Everybody loved Issa Pole at the end of the season. I thought he had a good final 3 games. Issa Pole, we have not spent a single minute in the last 3 weeks discussing Issa Pole. They have not discussed Issa Pole. He has no chance of starting with this team. And the only way that he will get on the field is if there are a bunch of injuries that happen, and then he can move himself up the depth chart, similar to what happened last year. Ashton Gelati's a little bit banged up, but he got to play a little bit more toward the end of the season. I don't really know what value we can take from the final 3 games of the season. So that's why I've tried to remove them from my commentary. The Chiefs did not like Christian Fulton until they didn't have any other option. He did not play until the final 3 games of the season. And then when the Chiefs made a lot of their guys inactive or put a lot of guys on the IR, they then were like, all right, go out there, play. Now, I do think that he is going to make this team. I'd be a little bit surprised if he got injured because of the Mansour Delane injury. And I don't know if you can have Delane out with an injury and potentially move on from Christian Fulton and just leave your cornerback room to chance. But I'm kind of inclined to agree with Cody Tapp that Christian Fulton still is not inside their circle of trust. They just haven't really given me many reasons to believe that they like him and that he's going to be a value contributor to what they have going on defense.
I think it is impossible for Fulton to be inside the fan circle of trust when I don't know that he's inside the team circle of trust. We've had a lot of players in part of the discussion of who is inside or outside the circle of trust. I remember early in Xavier Worthy's career when he had that midseason kind of swoon his rookie year. I thought he fell outside the circle. Fans still believed in him. I don't think we've had a player where I think the fans don't have an answer because the team doesn't play him. I don't think the Chiefs like him. I agree with Cody. Their actions tell me they don't like him. They signed him. Since signing him, they didn't play him for a season. And then what did they do this offseason? They signed 2 corners and drafted 2 more. Like that, the Chiefs have gone out of their way to tell you we don't like Christian Fulton. So I don't think any fan can have Fulton inside the circle of trust because I don't think Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo have him inside the circle of trust. He was getting practice reps last year, and then they saw that and went, oh, we got to get more youth and experience, youth and athleticism in the secondary because he's not the answer. So no, he's not inside the circle.
Somebody said, how close is he to the cut line? I don't think they're going to cut him. I just don't really know if there's a benefit right now to cutting Christian Fulton. I think they're too banged up potentially at corner just to outright let him go. Now, could he be on the team like Elijah Mitchell was, where he was on the outside looking in? Could he be a guy that maybe there's a trade possibility? I mean, I guess there could be. But you just want to talk about the money and what they've paid. I mean, they've already given Christian Fulton $15 million and only have $5 million left to pay throughout the season. At this point, I think it's probably just better for you to keep him, and he's just a break-in case of emergency option because the conditional 7th-round pick that you were going to get for Christian Fulton for somebody to take on his contract, I just don't really think that helps you a whole lot more so than having the reserve possibility of what if something happens to Kader Kohu? What if something happens to L'Jarius Sneed? We got a guy that we can instantly plug in, and now we're not scrambling to go outside the building to find it. So if you're asking me right now, I'm going to put Christian Fulton firmly on the side if I think he's going to make the team. But just because you make the team, that does not mean you are going to get on the field. I think you could again see some healthy DMPs, or he's just the guy that gets a very limited amount of snaps.
I think if Delane was healthy, Fulton would be cut. But that I cannot answer about Delane's health, so I think Fulton probably makes the roster. But I don't think, if you had asked Brett Veach at the beginning of camp, hey, if Delane's healthy, what's your cornerback room look like? I don't think he wanted to keep Christian Fulton because he kept trying to replace Christian Fulton. So I think Fulton is going to make the roster strictly because Delane is a question mark. But if there's a random Tuesday this NFL season where a player gets cut, it's Christian Fulton. He's going to be healthy DMP-a-palooza this year. I think he's on the roster just for the vibes at this point.
Text line 913-586-7965. Let's talk a little bit about Trent McDuffie. Let's just keep it in the cornerback family. So Trent McDuffie, I believe he went on Bussin' with the Boys podcast to talk about how he found out about being traded to the Los Angeles Rams. Here's former Chiefs corner Trent McDuffie.
I'm training and my Apple Watch, bro, just ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, group chat? Like, what is going on, bro? I look at it. I'm like,
something bad.
I'm like, I don't know, bro. Do not disturb. Like, let me just focus on the workout, bro. And all of a sudden I see my fiance and my mom walk into the training. I'm like, why are y'all here? Like, my first reaction was like, come on, bro. Like, don't come train. Like, this is weird. And then, I was like, oh, hold on, look. And it was just like, you're traded. And then my agent's blowing me up. I'm sorry, bro. Like, it came out before I could even call you, this, that, and the third.
No way.
And I was just like, whoa. Like, for real, like, the world stopped for a second. I was just like, let me get my bearings. Like, what just happened? And then I found out it was L.A. And I was like, oh, I mean.
You were living.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
going back home, like, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm good. But, just that moment.
I mean, I understand that. I don't know if anybody can be upset at Trent McDuffie for having that opinion. I believe that Trent McDuffie wanted to stay in Kansas City. He seems to be very well liked. He did a lot of stuff in the community. That's the situation that drafted you. You won in Kansas City. You had great memories in Kansas City. And I don't know every private conversation they've had. We all know how employers are. Hey, we're going to get this done for you. We love you. We appreciate you. We want you to be here. And then ultimately, I found out that you guys really had no interest in paying me what the market was, and then you traded me elsewhere. I understand how in the moment you can feel a way that you are being moved somewhere. And then when you find out where, you're from California, it's not like they shipped you off to the Jets. They didn't ship you off to Tampa Bay. Like, you're on maybe the best roster in the National Football League. So I think this is a pretty understandable, pretty reasonable stance from Trent McDuffie and how he feels about this situation. I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm not mad about it. I do find it odd that now maybe the timing was just bad and he was working out. And it just feels like usually the Chiefs are so good about these type of things where it's like, hey, we alerted the player that you might be on the market this offseason. It surprises me he was so surprised by it. Now, maybe he was just surprised by it in the moment and he had to kind of catch his bearings, to kind of quote him, but I don't think it was wrong by the Chiefs, but I am surprised they didn't do more to alert him that he could have been traded before it actually came to be. They usually are pretty good about that.
Text line 913-586-7965. Just running through some of this audio that we have right now. I want to play for you guys what Josh Allen had to say. Josh Allen was on the This Is Football podcast. Here's what the Bills quarterback had to say.
Definitely, we've watched it. We've put it in the past. We've learned from it. And, you know, we've been in the playoffs a lot of times in the last, however many years I've been here now. And, just continuing to find ways to learn from it. And I think that's it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because we haven't gotten it done. But, you knock enough at the door, it's going to open at some point. And that's just what we have to keep doing, is keep knocking on that door and giving ourselves chances to be in that situation again.
All right, let's stop here for a bit. I just want to stop here. I understand the logic that Josh Allen has here. Well, if you keep knocking on the door, it'll open. I mean, is that true? Because I can give you plenty of sports examples of just because you keep getting close does not ultimately mean that you're going to be the last team standing. Has Oregon won the national championship in college football yet? Oregon's been knocking on the door since Cam Newton was in college. Rob, did I miss the season where Oregon was the national champion? I mean, they might be the national champion. They've been knocking for a while. No one has answered. Gonzaga, have they won the national champion yet? Gonzaga's been good for 20 years. Have they won the national championship yet? The New York Knicks in the 90s. Plenty of times they knocked on the door. The Indiana Pacers. The Houston Rockets. I can give you dozens of examples of teams that got close, kept knocking on the door. I think a lot of our Josh Allen commentary is wrapped up in that belief. It is wrapped up in, well, if you just stick with it and keep trying, eventually you'll win the championship. Do we not watch sports? Great players don't win championships all the time. What makes Josh Allen different?
I do not want to sound like a Josh Allen apologist, but I think he's right when he's referring to getting to the Super Bowl. Now, I agree with you on winning the championship, but all the analogies you made, those guys eventually got an appearance. Josh Allen is still lacking the appearance. He does not have a Super Bowl appearance. The Knicks, the 90s, they got to a finals. They lost, but they made it to a finals. Dan Marino made it to a Super Bowl. I think he's right when it comes to making an appearance. The same way we talk about in college basketball. If you're in the Elite Eight every year, eventually you're going to make a Final Four. Making a Final Four doesn't mean you're cutting down the nets, but I do think if you keep getting to the doorstep, you will eventually get into the party. Now, whether you make the most of being at the party, that's a different conversation. But I do think he's right when it comes to getting a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, and I guess, and I don't disagree, so I don't want to sound like I'm on the opposite side of this. When I hear him talking about eventually the door will open, I don't hear him saying this as, well, the door is going to open for me to lose 27-13 to the Rams in February. That's just not how I'm hearing this quote. I'm hearing it as, you're the best quarterback, and the expectation, if people think you are the best quarterback in the league, is to go win a championship. It's not just to be a one appearance, at least we got one under our belt. And usually, there's a pretty big gap between the guys who just have their one appearance and never won and the guys that at least got one championship. Getting to the Super Bowl one time and losing puts you in the Matt Ryan category, puts you in the Cam Newton category, puts you in the Colin Kaepernick. Like, we can name plenty of guys that got there one time, didn't win a championship, and that was all she wrote. But there's a difference in getting there and then getting over the hump and getting that one. We talk about Aaron Rodgers radically different if he didn't have the one. We talk about Steve Young radically different if he didn't have the one. And that's where Josh Allen is to me in all of this. I just think it's a very flawed premise. It's not even the history of the organization that he plays for. There's not an organization in American sports history who knocked on the door more than the 90s Buffalo Bills, and the door never opened. So, again, I really think why we sort of baby Josh Allen and why we discuss him with these kids' gloves sometimes is everybody walks around with the notion of eventually it's going to happen for Josh Allen. Well, he's been the starting quarterback in the league for 7 years. It hasn't happened yet. It happened for Jalen Hurts. It happened for Patrick Mahomes. It happened for Matthew Stafford during this time. Why does it not happen for Josh Allen? And some of these knocking on the door, you are the reason you lost. I don't think we spent nearly enough time this offseason talking about how ridiculous that fumble was at the end of the first half against the Broncos. We spent a lot of time talking about the Brandon Cooks play. They maybe shouldn't even have been in that situation because their quarterback just pressed triangle at the wrong time and lateraled it to a Broncos team and gave them 3 points at the end of the first half. Just gave them 3 points. Gift wrapped. It was like that one scene in The Waterboy. Remember when Bobby Boucher handed the ball to the other guy to let him score so he could drop kick him in the end zone? That's what Josh Allen did in a real football game. So some of these reasons that they can't walk through the door is Josh Allen hasn't been good enough. He wasn't good enough in the last 2 playoff games they've had against Kansas City where they had the ball at the end. They had to settle for a field goal. They then couldn't get past midfield on another one. And then he had maybe the worst turnover of last year's NFL playoffs against the Broncos where he threw the ball to absolutely nobody. He's contributed to their ability to not being able to walk through the door.
I agree with that 100%. But I think for Josh Allen's legacy, he needs a Super Bowl, period. But I think the way fans would talk about him would be different if he had an appearance. Think about the way we talked about Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. You just said it. Josh Allen gets handled with kid gloves. There's a level of reverence that Joe Burrow is carrying because he's been to the one. So if Josh Allen gets an appearance, I agree. He doesn't want to lose it. I don't think there's any guarantee he wins it. But if he, at the end of next season, 2 seasons, we said he got to a Super Bowl, I think there would be a different level of conversation around him. So I think when it comes to appearing, he is right. You're right, though. Knocking down the door is no guarantee when it comes to winning a title. But who was the last great quarterback that never made a single appearance? They all get to one, usually.
Yeah, I mean, the answer might be Phillip Rivers. And we're talking about never had an appearance because Marino had the appearance for a Super Bowl. Yeah, the answer might be Phillip Rivers. And people will probably argue if you think Phillip Rivers is an all-time great quarterback.
But, like, it's probably him or Dan Fouts, maybe? Yeah. Like, it's pretty rare that a quarterback that we view as great doesn't make a singular appearance.
For sure, doesn't get to the one. Most quarterbacks at Josh Allen's level, at a minimum, get a one appearance.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers got the one. He cashed the ticket,
for sure.
but he only got the one.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew Brees cashed the ticket. I mean, he didn't really have a chance to cash the ticket.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't argue that. Are you picking them this year to get it? Because the only point I've been making about Buffalo is I don't think Josh Allen gets 5 more chances. I think Josh Allen gets 3 at a maximum. I think he gets. He's a running quarterback at 30 years old. He's a running short yardage quarterback. It's a different style than a Mike Vick, Lamar Jackson, Randall Cunningham. They use him first and goal from the 2-yard line, direct snap, run forward. They use him like Tim Tebow at Florida.
He's Cam Newton, basically.
That guy's body does not hold up at 37 years old and him playing at the level that he is playing at right now. So your opportunities to pick Buffalo, you got 3 years, I think, maximum to keep picking Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. Are you picking them this year? I'm not picking Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl.
I think it's impossible to pick them right now because I don't know what Joe Brady is.
I don't know who I'm picking, honestly, out of the AFC. I just don't feel once we get there that I am picking Buffalo to do so.
I don't think it's Buffalo, but that's largely their coach. If Joe Brady's the goods, the Bills probably are the best team in the AFC, but do you know if Joe Brady's the goods?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do this if you want. This is just off the top of our head. We could probably do this at 4 o'clock. I think every contending team in the AFC, and this includes Kansas City, has a serious red flag of why I wouldn't pick them.
100%.
Like a serious, critical, I would look at you sideways if you picked them. Like, we can go through whoever you would deem to be the true title contending teams in the AFC. Now, obviously, the Rams could not make it. The Seahawks could not make it. But there's way fewer teams in the NFC that I just think have the warts that the AFC teams do.
Like, and big red flag. It's not like the Seahawks red flag is, can Sam Darnold keep doing it a third straight year? Like, okay, that's a question mark. The Bills is, do they have a good coach? Like, that's a major red flag.
A significant. Let's do that at the top of the hour. Let's actually save that. Let's do that at the top of the hour. You guys might remember we played the national anthem for Martha Reeves. You guys remember Martha Reeves? She sang the national anthem at the baseball game. She is now given a statement to TMZ. We'll read for you what she had to say. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Do you feel like you're just not the man you used to be? Are you experiencing low energy, poor sleep, brain fog, workouts that aren't getting you the gains that you're used to? Maybe the weight's a little bit harder to lose, or the sex drive just isn't where it needs to be. Could be low testosterone. And over at Heartland Men's Health, they have an experienced medical team that specializes in diagnosing and treating low testosterone and other hormonal issues with a personalized treatment plan that may include TRT and other advanced therapies. Many men report having more energy, better workouts, improved sleep, sharper focus, and renewed confidence after treatment. You can take a free low T quiz over at heartlandmenshealth.com. Schedule a consultation. You'll receive lab work. You'll renew your results with a licensed medical provider and discuss the treatment options that are right for you. So don't settle for feeling less than your best. Pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, and call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today. Or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. It's time to start feeling like yourself again.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right, you pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary. This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. USPS, official shipping sponsor of the NHL.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLInjuryLaw.com.
This one brought to you by Dixon Chili Parlor. Craving a Kansas City classic? Well, head to Dixon's famous chili, where the legendary loose meat chili recipe has been satisfying locals for generations. Whether you like it mild, spicy, or piled high with toppings, there's only one original Dixon's famous chili, an authentic Kansas City tradition. So stop in today. Okay, we've got crash cleanup that is underway. Does appear like the crash is gone, but still big backups. I'm still seeing some red, okay, yellow, so it'll take a few minutes to unwind, and that is southbound 71 as you get to 85th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
I want to talk about this college story really quickly. Division II, they are going to adopt the same eligibility model as Division I. So right now, a model that is being proposed is that you get 5 years to play college athletics. You cannot get a red shirt. You cannot get a waiver. And the clock starts the moment you step on campus or 19 years old, whichever happens first. I think this is a fair model for all parties. I am perfectly fine with this model and one free transfer. I don't have any problem with guys changing teams. What I want to avoid in college athletics is you playing 6 and 7 years and you playing for 5 different schools. I just don't think that's the model that best serves the student. I don't think that's the best model that serves the athlete. And I don't think that's the best model that serves you, the fan. This model, if they can stick to this and get this to hold up in court, this is a noticeable improvement for college athletics. You get 5 years to play. Hey, if you graduate your senior year and then you go, I don't care what you do. Now, I'm even to give you transfers up and have that not go against you. So let's say you start at Pittsburgh State. That's a D2 school. You start at Pittsburgh State. You then are a good enough basketball player that Boston College then comes to you and says, we want you to come play at Boston College. To me, you should be allowed to move up without penalty. You are being offered a better job. We don't penalize coaches for being offered better jobs. You got offered a better job. You then get one more transfer. You now get a chance to transfer from a D1 school to a D1 school. So if you go from Pitt State to Boston College to Kansas, great. You have moved up every single time. You do not get another free transfer. I think those are fair compromises in how to make this work. I don't have any problem with the transfers, but I think everybody that watches college athletics can agree it's gotten out of control. Now, there's going to be a lot of legal battles in this, but I find it hard-pressed for anybody to argue to me that this is not fair. You're 19 years old. You get 5 years to play college sports. You can play 5 years. You can play freshman through senior year. You can go to graduate school and get another year. Eventually, bro, you got to go get a job. You got to go do something else with your life. Nobody is saying you can't play basketball. You just can't play basketball at Missouri anymore. You can't play basketball at Kansas anymore. They got other leagues. Go play in them. Go play in the Euro League. Go play in Italy. Go play in Australia. Go play in another basketball league. You just can't play in this basketball league anymore. I don't have any problem with this rule.
I think the 5-and-5 rule is probably the best thing I've seen proposed. Now, one ramification, and I feel like what's happened with college sports recently is every time they institute something, a loophole is created. Have you seen about how there's now the 5-and-5 rules looks like it's going to be implemented? all these players who have extra eligibility and aren't pros and want to go back to college are technically eligible. That we can't be having that either. We can't have people grandfathered in. So, like everything in college sports, legal battles are 1,000% on the horizon, which is the absolute worst part of college sports right now.
Yeah, and I understand that this rule may be uniform. Somebody says, CDOT, the only problem I have with those rules are what about BYU and the military? What do you do with those kids? Yes, I'm willing to make exceptions, and I understand that having a hard-pressed rule, but we agree that the BYU situation is not the norm. Playing for Air Force or Navy is a different situation than what 95% of the other college. So I'm with you. I'm perfectly fine with, hey, if you play a majority of your career at BYU, it's a little different scenario. You play a large majority of your year at one of the service academy schools, I got no issue with that. My issue is with AJ Storr. My issue is not with the kid at BYU. My issue is with Dylan Edwards. It's not with the guy that goes to High Point. That's not the problem with college athletics. The problem with college athletics is PJ Haggerty, who is turned into a basketball mercenary, who is just for sale every year to the highest bidder. That's the problem with college basketball. That's the problem with college athletics.
I mean, I'll call a player out. Dylan Edwards.
Yes, I said, yeah, Dylan Edwards. That
Dylan
guy's the problem.
Yeah, Dylan Edwards has been, 5 schools now, if you include his high school recruiting journey? Yeah, that's got to be corrected. I also think there's a part of this, and I agree with you on the whole. We got to have the conversation about the kids transferring as much as we have the conversation about the school forcing a kid to transfer.
For sure.
Because right now, we know it happens.
I mean, schools are absolutely pushing kids out, 100%.
Dion said it in that famous, my bag's Louis or my bag's Gucci or whatever he said comment. Coaches show up on campus, and they'd rather have the scholarship than Joe Schmo. If we're going to restrict the amount of movement a player can do, hey, if you're a new coach at Kansas State, if you're Colin Klein, you can't overhaul your roster in offseason. I'm sorry, this is your roster. It is what it is. Like we vilify the players too often.
100%. And this is why it would be great if we just started treating them like professional athletes and they started having a contract. Rob, you can go work at another radio station. They have to negotiate a deal with where you currently work, and then you can go work there. If you are at Boston College and Kansas is really interested in you, Kansas should then pay Boston College for the opportunity to take you off that team. It's fine with me. I don't got no issues with that. Isn't that what you guys have in soccer?
It's exactly what we have in soccer.
Maybe we need a little more soccer in our life. That's what we need. A little bit more soccer in our life. Can I play something for you guys? And this might honestly be the last time that we play it. So we told you guys a couple of days ago about a beautiful soul named Martha Reeves. Now, I did not know this, but there is a women's baseball league that just started up. They had their first games over the weekend. Seems like a little bit late to be starting a baseball season in my mind, but who am I to judge? They have this women's baseball league. They asked Miss Martha Reeves, the saint that she is, in her 80s, promoting an album, former Motown singer. They asked her to come and bless us in song. And she said, of course I'll do that because I love my country. I love women and I love baseball is what she said. So she went out there and she put together this performance.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night.
All right, you get the point. I don't want to laugh, but you get the point.
I'm not here
to disrespect Miss Martha. I'm really not. So TMZ got a little behind the scenes video. And in this video, she shows Miss Martha Reeves, she's blaming the backup singers. She's yelling at them. Now, we can't play it for you. It doesn't really work necessarily in a radio sense. But the main voice that you heard in that clip, she's yelling at the backup singers and telling them that they're out of tune. She then goes over to, I don't know if you've ever been down on the field with the Rose, but like they have somebody that coordinates this kind of stuff. Like somebody comes to get you. If you throw out the first pitch, you stand with them, and then they'll tell you where to go. So Miss Martha Reeves goes over to this person and then says, I don't need them. I don't need the backup singers, and is throwing a fit. She then was asked, hey, what do you think about your performance? And she said, A, it was wet and windy conditions, and also she didn't have the on-stage monitors, and that stopped her from hearing herself properly. It was an equipment failure. See, you guys were laughing and you were thinking that Miss Martha Reeves couldn't sing. You were thinking that Miss Martha Reeves, you were thinking that her voice was shot. No. Get corrected is what she's trying to tell you. That didn't have nothing to do with Miss Martha Reeves. That was the backup singers. They couldn't get, you can hear it right here. They're messing Miss Martha up. Look at this. She's cooking until they start singing.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night.
Those people are messing up her flow. She was cooking. Sounded like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. She was cooking. And then they started chiming in the back. Rockets, why you messing me up? Give me my moment. Let me cook. This is an ISO right now. I'm going one-on-one here. How dare you start singing? I don't need y'all. You know who I am? I'm Miss Martha Reeves. I sang with the Motown. I sang with the Highlights. I was on the Love Shack. I was on the Love Train. What are you talking about? Then she said it was wet out there. I get it. That humidity, the wind, it's doing crazy stuff to your voice. I can't put that on Miss Martha. I'm not putting that on Miss Martha. No, not at all. I'm not doing that. It's the backup singers. It wasn't ideal conditions. They didn't have her monitor right, so she couldn't hear herself. She couldn't check the tone. It's all of those things contributed to why it came out that way. I'm happy that she cleared that up for me. Thank you, TMZ. TMZ, they still get to the bottom of things better than anybody else. We needed that.
Sounds like TMZ found her excuse of Palooza.
No, that's not. See, that's where your novice ears come in. That's where you just don't know what you don't know. Don't speak on it if you don't know. Because that woman who's a trained professional singer is trying to tell us what happened. She said because of that, it wasn't the performance that she expected, but she was just grateful to be there to support the athletes. That's what I'm talking about. They also said we got other audio of her singing the anthem at other places, and she did a great job. So, yes, I'm not putting that on Miss Martha Reeves. I'm putting that on the people around her. They didn't put her in a condition to go out and succeed is the problem. All right, Rob, let's do this exercise. Let's go through the teams that you would deem to be contenders in the AFC and what you think their fatal red flag flaw would be. Because I'm looking at these teams in the AFC. I'm not sure if I like any of them. We'll talk about it as the draft.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
This one brought to you by Dixon Chili Parlor. Craving a Kansas City classic? Well, head to Dixon's famous chili, where the legendary loose meat chili recipe has been satisfying locals for generations. Whether you like it mild, spicy, or piled high with toppings, there's only one original Dixon's famous chili, an authentic Kansas City tradition. So stop in today. Okay, we've got crash cleanup that is underway. Does appear like the crash is gone, but still big backups. I'm still seeing some red, yellow, so it'll take a few minutes to unwind, and that is southbound 71 as you get to 85th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
That pallet of pavers collecting dust, the beginnings of a garden, those stray fence posts. Are you haunted by half-finished projects on your land? John Deere is here to say, not anymore. Our compact tractors allow you to swap implements easily, and they're backed by the nation's largest dealer network. You always had the right idea, and with the right tools, those projects can get finished for good. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/compact tractors.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Kansas City football fans, Dana Hughes here. Countdown to kickoff is officially on, so now is the time to stock the cooler with Yingling Flight. Whether you're headed to training camp, firing up the grill, or getting together with family and friends on game day, Yingling Flight is the perfect way to enjoy the football season. At just 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs, it's everything you want in a light beer. Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Peter's Clothiers. The last 3 days of our summer sale are here. Save from 30 to 50% on suits, sports coats, and sportswear at Peter's Clothiers. Find the look you want at the price you'll love. Visit Peter's Clothiers at 124th and State Line. Sale ends soon.
Hey, it's Carter Jensen, and this is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right. I'm going to give you the most lukewarm take I maybe have ever given you in my entire career. I think there's 8 contenders in the AFC. I think half of the AFC can consider themselves to be contenders coming into the season. Rob, these are the 8. And it probably could be 9, but you believe in Jacksonville? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Who thinks Jacksonville is going to the Super Bowl?
I mean, Jacksonville won their division last year. And
I know. I'm just saying is if I told you, if I handed you right now a sheet of paper.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Jacksonville Super Bowl champion.
And I'm saying is if I told you right now it's Jacksonville against the Rams, and I give you $1 million, and you have to either trust that I know what I'm talking about, you would say, no, there's no way that's the Super Bowl. You would not trust me in that scenario. If that was deal or no deal, you would press no deal. I think there's 8 teams. Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Denver, the Chargers, and Kansas City. Now, I think that's radically different in the NFC. There are not 8 teams, I think, that can go to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, because it's so wide open, I would not be shocked if any of these 8 teams went to the Super Bowl. Rob, do you agree? Is there a team that you would take off? Is there a team that you would add to this conversation? I promise you we'll give this some more context in a bit, but I at least want to start with this foundation. I think there's 8 teams in the AFC that can make a claim to we are true Super Bowl contending teams, and yes, Kansas City is one of those teams.
That is the definitive list. I actually wouldn't have Jags on there either. So yes, I would say Bengals, Ravens. I don't have any belief in the Steelers, but I guess maybe you could say Steelers. But yeah, I think you have the 8 identified perfectly.
Okay. Let's go down the list here because right now I do not have a clear picture of who I'm going to pick to go to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, it's a little bit more clear. I think it's either going to be the Rams or Seattle. In the AFC, your guess is just as good as mine. And that's why when we tried to have these conversations, if you think Kansas City is going to the Super Bowl, I cannot tell you that you are wrong. I don't think I'm picking Kansas City to represent the AFC, but I cannot tell you you are wrong in picking the Chiefs because it is so wide open heading into the season. And out of these 8 teams that I just mentioned, Rob, seems very obvious, a couple of these teams are going to miss the playoffs this year because that's kind of how football goes. So let's go down the list. Buffalo, fatal flaw, new coach, questionable wide receiver room, defense, major question mark. Those are their red flags. We have no clue if they have a good coach. Their wide receiver room still feels like they are missing a couple of pieces to me, and I think they might have the worst defense. It's possible Buffalo has the worst defense of any team on this group.
Yeah, I think their defense is a question mark because they have a new defensive coordinator too. Like they're overhauling the defense, but I would say that those are the 3 big questions. Pass catchers.
New England. Coach is nasty. I think that could be a distraction.
Coach distraction was a way to say that. I was saying coach is nasty.
But he was nasty. He was being nasty in the offseason. We know that. Coach is nasty. Schedule much more difficult this year than last year. Possible regression team. So coach distraction
and schedule.
Schedule.
Those are the 2 big ones.
Is there anything else you would put on this list of what a possible issue for New England could be and what their red flag could be? Because I feel good that that's their 2 red flags. That
I think the schedule and Drake May go hand in hand because Drake May is another question, but if he's real, you feel better about them, but that could be schedule driven. So yes, those are the 2 big ones.
But you agree to me that if we start the season and New England is 2-4 and it feels like they're having some continuity issues, I'm going to point to, man, we should have all saw this coming because their coach, he was the number 1 storyline for about 9 weeks in the offseason.
The owners' meetings, which we never talk about, we spent a lot of time on this show talking about because he was out gallivanting around with the Athletic.
Baltimore, quarterback, health, new head coach.
Yeah, I think they have defense questions too.
You think so?
I think that ties into the new head coach. He'll be their defensive coordinator, essentially. Their defense was terrible last year.
That's fair.
Like
I can't argue that.
We think like the Ravens, so they have a good defense. Their defense was bad last year. Can they get that corrected? Because that is a staple of what makes the Ravens the Ravens. I mean, they gave up 40 to everyone.
So you have new coach, quarterback health, defense question marks.
Yep.
Perfectly fine. Cincinnati, health is an issue with them every single year. Offensive line is an issue with them every single year. And their defense, a whole lot of new parts that they got to figure out and put together.
QB health?
I think it's health in general.
Okay.
I think it's T. Higgins. I think it's Joe Burrow. I think it's all of those things. I think team overall health and their injury concerns, their offensive line has been a problem for 6 consecutive years. I don't know why this season would be any different. I don't even know who their offensive line is, but I know they're going to have an offensive line issue. And their defense last year was abysmal, and that's why they've done everything they can to try to fix it. They went out and they got Boye Mafe. They traded the 10th overall pick. They signed Brian Cook. They took the steps forward to be better on defense. Let's see if it actually works. And we also know Cincinnati. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but something tells me they start 1-2 and get off to a slow start because that's what Cincinnati does. I mean, their first month, Tampa Bay, at Houston, at Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, that could easily be a 1-3 month for the Cincinnati Bengals. They love to start 1-3 and go into October behind the 8 ball. That's one of their favorite things to do.
They don't ever play in September. It's a unique scheduling quirk, but they don't get to play in September. They just take L's.
Houston, quarterback.
That I am going to be the one. I guess maybe offensive line.
Yeah, O-line.
But they have the biggest quarterback question. Like, I know we have our question about Lamar's health. CJ Stroud is a $1 billion question.
Yeah, I think it's quarterback and offensive line. I actually really like Houston's roster if it wasn't for the quarterback.
I think if they had a quarterback from any other contender, they would be the automatic favorite.
Would you pick Houston to make the Super Bowl if they had Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think if I would pick them to go to the Super Bowl if they had Bo Nix.
What if they had Dak Prescott?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
1,000%.
Just wondering.
C.J. Stroud's like the 19th best quarterback in the NFL. That is the one.
If they had, I mean, to be fair, if they had Justin Herbert, they lose in the first round.
That's just Justin Herbert.
Yeah, if they had Justin Herbert, they lose in the first round.
Do you know what the Texans are? They're Alex Smith Chiefs. Hey, they have a really talented roster, 2 through 53, but we have massive questions at 1.
So just QB and O-line are your only red flags right now for Houston.
And by the way, I'm buying a lot of Houston stock, but that's their biggest question.
I feel like you're going to pick Houston to go to the Super Bowl. I know you and I haven't gone through our official picks yet, but something tells me whenever we schedule that day, which will probably be like September 4th, I strongly predict that Houston will be your Super Bowl pick for the AFC.
They will be very high on my AFC list, I can tell you that.
Somebody said the Texans' defense is not as good as people are making it sound like. Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of that
I think their defense got better.
I think Houston, on paper, has one of the 3 best defenses in the league. I think it's either Houston, Seattle, or Denver. I think those are the 3 best defenses heading into the season. I don't know what you can not like about Houston's defense. They've got 3 legitimate pass rushers. They have maybe the second best corner in the National Football League. They might have the best 1-2, number 1 corner, number 2 corner in the National Football League. I love their defense.
I know it wasn't like some big splashy, sexy move. They had a re-Blankenship. Like, I think one of their weaknesses was safety, and they got stronger.
I can't believe you're touting adding a safety as one of your positives for a team's defense.
I mean, everything.
Can you bring Rob back? What happened to Rob?
Everything you said, I can't just be like, good point.
No, yeah, I'm just saying because I never would have thought you'd be like, hey, this team made an addition, it's safety, and that's what could get them over the hump. You've never said that sentence before in the.
I mean, they had
millions of football conversations.
They had one defensive deficiency, and I think they got better at that spot.
Okay. So it sounds to me like right now you think Houston has fewer flaws than any team in the AFC.
I'm not sure that's true because their one flaw might be the biggest flaw in all of sports. When was the last time we saw a team go to the Super Bowl and you're like, oh, I don't think their quarterback's any good?
That's a great question.
I'm
trying to think of who I think it could be.
Like Sam Darnold had turned the tide. People thought Joe Flacco might be a thing. Like who's the last time we were like, oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, we're probably going back to like Joe Flacco. We're probably going back to there.
It's been a while.
Someone said the Rams got to be in the mix. Okay, I'll throw the Rams into the mix. I mean, we got to see them together, but I mean, they got all the pieces on paper to be the best defense in the league.
They also might be adding Aaron Donald.
For sure. I mean, they are 100% adding Aaron Donald. Okay, I will give you that about the Rams. Great point. Denver, quarterback, health. What's the other Broncos issue?
I think it's 1-score games.
Regression.
One score regression.
Okay, so we think the Broncos' red flag is quarterback health, possible regression off 1-score games.
Mm-hmm. Those are the big ones. Because pass catchers, they got better. I think their defense is still very good. I mean, I don't really care about running back, but J.K. Dobbins is made of glass.
Okay. I mean, that's not a bad list to me then if that's what we're talking about.
I feel like when we do that same game on September 4th, you're going to be very high on Denver. I think you're going to put Denver.
I told you I'm high on Denver.
I think when we go to that game, I think you'll have Denver in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm predicting. If you think I got Houston going in there, I think you got Denver going in.
I might have Denver if we lived in Atlanta, but I don't. You think I could come on here and I could pick Denver to go to the Super Bowl? Like I'm not. Come on now. You guys will be mad at me for enough. I got to sign up to be mad in September. I'm not signing up for that. So, yeah, there probably is a chance. If you and I were doing this show in Atlanta, there might be a chance I would pick the Broncos. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not interested in doing that. The Chargers. I feel like the Chargers have way more holes than you're going to give them.
I want to hear your list. Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback, overall team health.
Yep. Pass catchers.
Yeah, I don't love their wide receivers.
Yeah, no, I said pass catchers. I'd like to hear what you have at 4 because I think that's the list.
I can live with that. Quarterback health, wide receivers.
And their quarterback question is clutchness, not like we think he can play. He just can't play when it's cold out and they spray paint the playoff logo on the field.
I mean, I just saw Slater got hurt yesterday. Slater got hurt.
Well, yeah, health is definitely 100% on there.
Yeah, quarterback, health, lacking wide receiver room.
I agree.
Are you a fan of their defense?
I mean, their defense was good last year, so yes. I don't think it's like dominant, but I don't think it's bad.
What do you think the Chiefs' red flags are? Now that we're here in the Chiefs. So we're doing this because we were throwing out, I think there's 8 teams that could claim that they are Super Bowl contending teams in the AFC. I think it's Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Denver, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. Now, I have varying degrees of belief in all of these teams. Some of these teams I'm not picking to make the playoffs. Like, I'm not picking Cincinnati to make the playoffs this year, for example. But
wait, really?
I will probably not pick them.
We're not at that point yet. That's surprising.
Yeah, I will probably not pick them to make the playoffs this year.
The AFC is gonna be fun to do our predictions this year.
Because I think there's any combination of right answers that you can have. So I don't view Cincinnati as the contending team that some other people do. But you do have a good quarterback. You do got great skill position players. You did make a lot of improvements to the defense. Could I just be wrong on Cincinnati? Sure, of course. For the Chiefs, what's their flaws? Let me ask you this. Are we putting quarterback health as a red flag for the Chiefs? Because it technically should be the same issue that it is with the Broncos.
It's on the list. I'm not saying it's number 1 on the list, and I don't think by week 6, 7, 8 we're going to talk about it. But for week 1, when they play Denver, it is absolutely going to be a question.
All right, QB health. Wide receiver room. Pass rush. Yeah, I think it's inexperienced defense as a whole.
That's fair.
Like, I'm not with you on pass rush. I think pass rush is it too. But I don't know if you are another team, if you look at the Chiefs secondary, that you're worried at all about anything that they have in their secondary. Where you are, obviously, with Houston. You are with Denver. You are with the Chargers, just because of those things.
That's fair. If you want to be more 10,000-foot view and say defensive inexperience, that's fine. I would pass rush specifically.
Okay. I mean, that's an interesting one. So we both think the Chiefs have 3 major red flags. Quarterback health, wide receiver room, so skill position players, and I would just say youth on defense, inexperience on defense, where I can't trust their defense the same way that I would New England. I can't trust their defense the same way that I do Houston or Denver heading into the season.
Not in August. Now, the good thing about football is these questions
they could improve.
The same way that we're talking about bad about C.J. Stroud. If he starts balling out this year like he did at Ohio State, questions get answered. But yes, those are the Chiefs' questions.
Do you think Cincinnati has a better defense than Kansas City? Right now, if you could swap out Cincinnati's defensive roster for Kansas City's defense, would you make that switch?
I think Cincinnati has more known commodities.
For sure. I mean, certainly a pass rush. I mean, they got Boye Mafe and Dexter Lawrence, and we'll see what happens with Shamar Stewart. Is he out? I know he got injured. I don't know if he came back.
Cassius Howell is a pick they had.
Yeah, they just got him. His second-round pick out of A&M.
Miles Murphy, I think, is on that roster. I think
their cornerback room is
bad.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
I've never heard of some of these people before.
You beat me to it.
Who the hell is Dax Hill?
Their pass rush, I would definitely take over the Chiefs.
Bad.
I don't know if there's anyone in that secondary.
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to sell me on this Bengals team making the playoffs. I ain't picking them.
I mean, they also have the best wide receiver in football, but
Rob, just go ahead and say it. In the same way that I'm a little afraid to say that I like Denver, you're a little afraid to say that you like Houston. And I
like
get
Houston. I've never been afraid of that. I like Houston a lot this year.
No,
I keep telling you, I'm buying
Houston
stock.
to go to the Super Bowl. And it's okay.
I'm definitely picking them to be the 1 seed.
Yeah, you're picking them to go to the Super Bowl. You like Houston. The same way that I like Denver, but I'm with you. No, nobody wants to be opposite of the text line. It ain't fun to be opposite of the text line. The text line will ruin your day. But eventually, we're going to have to stand on these picks. Right now, it's all hypothetical.
It's ideas.
Yeah, I offer up the ability to change my mind at any point between now and when we officially make our picks. But yeah, you really like Houston, just like I really like Denver heading into the season.
I do really like Houston's team.
I just don't see a lot of weaknesses on Denver. There are not a lot of things on the Denver Broncos that I'm going into the season where I'm like, I don't know about that. But I also like Bo Nix more than I think the average person likes Bo Nix. But I love just about everything else on their roster. I love their wide receivers. I think their offensive line is good. I think their defense is going to be pretty good this year. There's a lot of things to like about the Broncos.
I'd be curious to note about Denver. Are you worried at all about the 1-score thing? I wonder if that's a unique to Kansas City opinion. Because of what happened.
I think a lot of people have that opinion.
I think that's maybe a little bit more unique to Kansas City fans, though, because they saw the pendulum swing the opposite direction, maybe more than any fan base in sports.
I mean, the question for the Broncos, I think, is going to be, we're going to get our answers. As high as I am on the Broncos, and maybe you're listening right now and you were the exact opposite. Karen, you're an idiot. The Broncos aren't doing anything. Listen to their first 6 games of the season. At Kansas City, home against Jacksonville, home against the Rams on Sunday Night Football, at San Francisco, at the Chargers, home against Seattle on Thursday Night Football. That's their first 6 games of the season. They played 6 teams that made the playoffs last year, including the 2 best teams in the league heading into the year in the first 6 weeks. So, I mean, if Denver is good and they are a true Super Bowl contending team, after the first 6 weeks, if you go 4-2 in that stretch, you got to feel good because the second half of the season somewhat opens up for them, and you play the Raiders and Carolina and Miami and the Jets, and you get those teams. But, I mean, that first 6 weeks of the schedule, I dare you to find a single team in the league that has a more difficult start to their season than the first 6 games of the year for the Denver Broncos.
The Broncos' schedule is tougher than Indiana's schedule. It's
yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that they could start 0-2. I mean, Jacksonville, the Broncos will be, what, a 3.5-point favorite in that game? 3-point favorite in that game?
Yeah, at home.
We also just might be wrong about Jacksonville, and Jacksonville could possibly be on this list. And Jacksonville is a true contender in the AFC, and we just don't believe in them because they're Jacksonville. Because if the Packers had done what Jacksonville did last season, we'd believe in that team. The Cowboys did what Jacksonville did last season, but the fact that they're Jacksonville, no one believes that 14-3 was real last season.
The only team in the NFL that I think would have a tougher start than the Broncos is the Cardinals, but no one thinks the Cardinals are good. The Cardinals start with the Chargers, Seahawks, and Niners back-to-back-to-back. Woof.
No, for sure. Someone said, you know who Dax Hill is? I just can't make jokes on. See what I mean with the text line? Can't even make jokes on the text line. See how mad they get? They're mad about Dax Hill slander. Imagine if I said I think the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl. I'll never live that down. I can't come on here and say that. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, Rob, it's okay to admit that you're afraid. I'm afraid sometimes. I can acknowledge
you said that secondary's bad. That secondary's got Brian Cook. Local kid. Locking it down.
I mean, it was barbecue chicken alert is what he was. I'm telling you, if Brian Cook was the big addition that your secondary made, I don't know if I believe in your defense. I don't know if I believe in the direction of the defense. This feels like a 8-9 disappointing year in Cincinnati that leads to Zach Taylor getting fired.
God,
That's what this feels to me.
That front four is so good looking.
It's good.
Though.
It is. It's very, very strong.
I forgot they had Jonathan Allen come over from the Vikings.
Yeah, it's strong. I can't question that.
If the Chiefs had that front four, I would think they might be number one, but they have FAU.
I mean, if the Chiefs had that front four, I think they're the best team in the AFC.
I agree.
Because I would have fewer questions about the secondary because
they have that front four.
If you're going to get that kind of pressure, I trust Spags to figure it out on the back end. I also think the Chiefs would have a top 5 defense in the league if they had that kind of where if you had a top 5 defense in the league that could help you while you try to figure out some wide receiver stuff on the front end, and your defense could win some 17-14 kind of games while you're figuring some things out, I would have a radically different opinion about Kansas City coming into the season.
I mean, I might like Bengals secondary is just so bad. So bad. Someone says we should have the Jags on this list. If we were to add the Jags, what are their red flags? Regression? Quarterback?
Yeah, they're just Jacksonville. That's just I can't really put it one other way. I still don't really understand how Jacksonville was so good last year. Their roster's very uninspiring.
They might have a really good coach.
It was one season.
That's what I said might. I didn't say they do.
I'm just saying, like, who on their team are you scheming against? Who are you worried about? Who's a playmaker on their team? They don't have anybody on their team. They have a mediocre run game. Brian Thomas took a step back last year. Their defense is, it's okay. I cannot explain how Jacksonville won 14 games last season. It does not add up to me. It does not compute this year. They just seem so obvious to me that they are going to regress.
I agree, but I think it is worth noting. A team that won 14 games last year probably should have been on the contender list.
No, for sure. I mean, we're talking about a team that, after Halloween, they lost one time before the playoffs.
Correct.
They had a bye week, and they went from week 9 until week 18. They won every game. And then I think what really hurt them was they had a chance in the playoffs at home against Buffalo, and I think that was kind of now it's time to get your respect, and they lost at home to the Buffalo Bills, and I think all of us said, yeah, of course, that's what we thought was going to happen. But, they went on the road. They beat Denver last year. They beat the Chargers last year. They were all right. They were a competitive team last year. I'm just I'm not rolling. Are you picking them to win the division this year?
No, because
you
they're
guys are making the playoffs this year.
They're in Houston's division. You know how I feel about
You got Houston going 15-2 this season. That's what I know. That's what we learned in this segment. You got Houston going 15-2 this year.
What I learned is if we did this show any other city in America, you would have the Broncos as the best team in the NFL.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Probably. And in the end, you know what? I got to pick a safe team that no one will get that mad at me about. I got to pick New England. You know, like no one will be mad if I pick New England to go to the Super Bowl. I pick the Broncos. It'll just be a problem. That's just not, I don't want to come to work every day and feel that level of anxiety every day about the Broncos. See, I told you. See, I just won't believe in them. That's what I'll do.
Remember the text I got mad at me because I said Cortland Sutton was better than Rasheed Rice? That was a bad 6 weeks, even though I was right.
See what I'm saying? That's what you said about Cortland Sutton.
I was right, and they were still mean.
Coming up on the other side, we're going to be joined by Jeff Schwartz. We're going to get his thoughts about the potential right tackle battle at training camp. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season, and that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circa Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes, no rake in any of the three contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Participation may vary.
When you need electrical services, AB May is here to help your house feel like a home again. Serving Kansas City for over 65 years, AB May handles it all, from generators, electrical panels, home lighting, and much more. When it comes to your home, solved is our standard. And AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Trusted by generations. Call AB May at 913-383-2222 or visit abmay.com today.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
When it's time for a new water heater, trust the team that's been serving Kansas City for 75 years. For a limited time, buy a water heater and get a water filter 50% off. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a crash that is drawing a lot of attention on Liquor Delay, 35 northbound. It is off to the left shoulder as you approach 69. Okay, yeah, Overland Parkway, 35 northbound. Southbound side very heavy as well as folks tap their brakes. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by a friend of the show, former NFL offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz joins us on the show. Jeff, how you been, my man? It's been a while since we had you on the show.
I'm good. Getting ready for the season, right? It's almost here. We got Hall of Fame game tomorrow night.
Are you watching the Hall of Fame game? That's a level of football anticipation I can't get. I'll watch Hard Knocks. I'll go back and watch Last Chance U. I can't do the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, of course I'll watch it. It's football.
Right now we're talking to Jeff Schwartz. Jeff, I'm interested to get your thoughts, as you're obviously very connected to the Chiefs, but you still look at it from a national perspective. Do you see Kansas City as a Super Bowl contending team the way that we have for the last 7-8 seasons?
I do. I do. I think that, with Mahomes healthy, they're always a Super Bowl contender. Now, are there question marks about certain parts of their team? Absolutely. But with that guy healthy, look, the videos show that he's healthy, right? The videos show that he's moving around well. I like, again, the sort of what appears to be a little bit of an adjustment offensively to doing things in a little bit easier way. And so, yes, they're always a contender as long as Mahomes is there. Obviously, they have some questions around the roster. But, in the NFC right now, who are we trusting, right? I think we're out on New England just as a repeat type of team, right? What Buffalo's going to finally do it. The Ravens are going to do it. The Bengals, it's still the Chiefs, man.
Yeah, we were just talking about this before you popped on. I mean, there's probably 8 teams that I think people could really squint at and call them contenders in the AFC. Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Denver, the Chargers, and Kansas City. All of those teams have massive red flags where if they all put it together, I could see a scenario. But right now, there's no team that appears to be a cut above the rest.
Right. And it's not as deep as a conference as the NFC, it feels like, right? So a lot of it will come down to, playoff seeding, home field advantage. But you tell me Kansas City get to the playoffs and I'm going to doubt Patrick Mahomes? No chance, right? So, again, there's questions to be had. And they got to figure out, some more pass rush. You got some younger players in the secondary. Got to figure out what appears to be right tackle right now. The wide receiver room appears to be not great again, which they got to figure that out. But, a lot of these teams do have question marks, though, as well.
Right now, we're talking to Jeff Schwartz, former Chiefs offensive lineman, does a lot of work around media right now, just getting a national perspective when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. You and I haven't gotten a chance to talk about this yet, but One reason I'm very optimistic about this offense, I'm optimistic about Mahomes and what the ceiling for this team can be is, I thought the Chiefs were trying to play offense these last couple of years with one arm tied behind their back because they just couldn't run the football. What does this offense look like? What does Pat look like when you put 1,000-yard, 1,100-yard back behind him? He just hasn't had that in his career yet.
Well, look, the best way to win in any sport, but football feels like even more, is you have to have right, and different ways to win. Because eventually, if you have one way to win, it just becomes overwhelming. You know, it's too hard. And so the Chiefs haven't had the ability to generate explosive runs. And Kenneth Walker fixes that for them. Like, think about, instead of getting a 3 or 4 yard run, you get an 8-yard run, right? Now it's 2nd and 2 instead of 2nd and 7. Well, then you can run the ball again for a first down. Now instead of the 8-yard carry, it's 17 yards. And it's just like, think about all the different ways that those extra yards could help the Chiefs offense. Play action pass, obviously, and come back to the offense. And so you can also, when you're trying to win a game, you're able to run the ball a little bit better. The offensive line is good. I don't know, the offensive line, national media talking about the offensive line. Offensive line's good. And so the offensive line, explosive from the back. One thing I've talked about a lot the last couple of years is the screen game has just disappeared completely from the Chiefs offense. And there's many reasons for that. But one of them is they just really haven't had a back that can run the ball and also be a screen guy. They haven't had a dual threat back like that. And now they do. So the screen game could be back on the Chiefs offense. So there's a lot of positives when it comes to Kenneth Walker being there.
Right now, we're talking to Jeff Schwartz here for a few more minutes. Just wanted to get his perspective on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jeff, let's talk about the right tackle position battle right now. It feels like that's the only one on the team. You and I had a slight Twitter conversation about it, so we could bring it here. What do you make of them giving Khalil Benson a large majority of those first team reps?
So you can look at it one of two ways, right? One is that, like, they've decided he's their guy already, which I don't think they have. The way I'm looking at it is that they know what Moore can do at right tackle, and they want to see if Benson can be better than him. And that's what I think it feels like they're giving Benson the opportunity to win the job, knowing that they can always fall back on Moore. And maybe, they view Moore as just a preferred backup at both tackle spots. Maybe he's a trade guy eventually, but it does feel like they're hoping Benson can win that job. I would be a little surprised if he did. We've seen some quickness concerns so far in training camp. And that would, again, it would surprise me if he did win the job, I think, in the end. But to me, it just shows that they're trying to see what he can do. Again, it doesn't mean he's going to win the job or they want him to win the job. But the only way to tell us to play the kid, right? Like, Jalen Moore's a veteran. They know what you're getting from Jalen Moore. So it does feel like they're just using this as a tryout. Now, the longer it goes, the more you got to consider that this is what they want, right? This is a permanent solution. So, we'll get to see a little bit more in the first preseason game, obviously, but he's got the first team reps, I think, for the most part so far in camp. So they're definitely giving him a good, strong look there.
Which room do you think has the bigger concern? Do you think it's wide receiver or D-end pass rush for this team?
Oh, wide receiver. Like, I'm not sure it's close. You can at least supplement the pass rush with the interior guys, right? With Chris Jones and Woods looks pretty good so far in training camp, and Mason looks like got a little bit of juice. And Karlaftis, for as much as I think that he, is overpaid, he does give them some energy, some juice at that position, right? The wide receiver group is just, if Rice is healthy, obviously a very good football player. That's and he's working through some things right now, but guys are already hurt, right? Worthy's hurt, and Allen got hurt, and just it's not a good place to be when these guys are already beat up. So to me, it's wide receiver, and I don't know who the guys are to bring in, but I do wonder if the Chiefs look at I think Diggs signed today somewhere else, so it would be Kansas City. So I do wonder if they look at a trade or a veteran or something to get a little more juice there.
I'll get you out of here with this last question. The Chiefs' win total over-under is 10.5. You taking the over or the under for Kansas City?
I'd go over. I think they have a bounce-back season. I just think everything's in place I think Denver also is going to step back a little bit this year. Everything went well for them last season. I like the Chiefs sort of back against the wall, feeling some sort of way from last season. I like the motivation that gives some of the older players, right, who haven't really been in this spot. Mahomes has sort of never been in this spot before. Kelsey's never getting this. I guess Kelsey had some early years, when kids weren't as good, but Moses hasn't been here before. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing like a pissed off, us against the world, Patrick Mahomes.
That is our guy, Jeff Schwartz, joining us on the show today. He played for the Chiefs. He does great stuff in media right now. Just wanted to get his quick thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jeff, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you at some point this football season.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Absolutely. That is Jeff Schwartz joining us on the show today. Always happy to have a friend of the show, Jeff Schwartz, joining us on the show today. I thought he had pretty reasonable stances on everything, Rob. I don't have too many questions about anything that he had to say. I'm always happy that we get a chance. Someone on the text line says, are there any decent wide receivers available on the open market? Not anymore. Stephon Diggs has signed. Brandon Ayuk is probably not going to play in the NFL again, and that's about it. There are no more wide receivers available. That time is now past. So you guys know at some point I will say this. We'll be asking questions, and Rob, you will hear me say the time to fix that was in March and April. If the Chiefs have a wide receiver problem in October, yeah, they're just stuck with this wide receiver problem. That problem is not fixing itself. That's just not how the NFL works.
What's the saying? There are April and May problems, and there are October and November problems. This was a April and May type of problem, and they skipped April and May doing anything.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more coming up at the top of the hour. That'll be the hit number one today about that. I mean, the Chiefs have clearly communicated something to us. I think that is very obvious that they have communicated something to us, and we'll see if they end up being right or wrong. All right, coming up on the other side, they did a fun activity on Arrowhead Pride. This was their Chiefs Most to Prove list. We'll go through it and see if we agree or disagree. We'll do that next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and we fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
In Kansas City, some traditions never go out of style. Since 1919, Dixon's Famous Chili has been serving its legendary recipe to generations of loyal customers, including President Harry S. Truman, who called call Dixon's his favorite. More than 100 years later, they're still serving the same great taste with the same commitment to quality. Stop in for their famous Build Your Own Chili. All-you-can-eat tacos every day, or let Dixon's cater your next event. Whether it's your first visit or your 100th, you'll taste a true Kansas City tradition. Dixon's famous chili, proudly serving Kansas City since 1919.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got the broken down vehicle 35 north as you approach 69 Overland Parkway. It is the left lane that is blocked. So scoot to the right through here. You're at least moving slowly, but you're moving. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Rob, they just released some official numbers for this season of Love Island. 19 billion minutes viewed so far for Love Island. Are you going to join us next year? Because this is my first Love Island season. I had not seen a single episode. I didn't know anything about Love Island, but everybody was watching it last year. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a chance this upcoming season. So I am one of the people that participated in this 19 billion minutes viewed for Love Island. For season 9 next year, are you going to join us? Are you going to be with us?
I don't think I will, but I also reserve the right to one day my wife says I'm a Love Island person. Time will change.
No, I
over
understand.
Here.
Is there a way that we could do a swap? Like maybe you watch Love Island next year and then I'll watch some Marvel movies. And we can do both of those
You're
things.
already watching the Marvel movies, though. You went and saw Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was the only one I'd seen.
You're not going to see Doomsday?
I had missed the last 2.
You'll see Doomsday.
I hadn't seen any of the other Avengers movies. Why would I go see this? I haven't seen Endgame or Infinity War, any of these other things that you've been talking about. The last Marvel movie I saw before this most recent Spider-Man was Black Panther 2.
I bet you were confusing that, too, because...
No, I knew Chadwick died.
That's fair.
That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to know anything else. I knew Chadwick died.
You going to double dip in December with Dune and Doomsday?
I never saw the first Dune. I do not think I'll see
There's
this
a second Dune, by the way.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll see that one either. I do not think I will see Avengers. I do not think I'll be participating in that. You know what? I'll be back for the Marvel movies whenever X-Men is there.
They'll be in Doomsday.
No, the X-Men movie. I'm not spending 2.5 hours to get 8 minutes of Wolverine. I'm all right. You got it. Who are the Avengers now?
The entire list.
I'm just saying, I knew who the Avengers were before, but I don't know who's the Avengers today.
I mean, we have Captain America, but now
he's back.
It's Sam Wilson now.
Oh, I don't want him. I don't want the bootleg Captain America. What happened to the old Captain America?
He dies in Endgame.
So they just got a new Captain America?
Yeah. It's a whole movie about it.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I'm learning so much.
Thor's back. Ant-Man's back.
Paul Rudd's back.
Black Panther back.
Oh, wow. They're bringing all these guys back for the
Fantastic Four. We got a Fantastic Four now in the Avengers.
Okay, all right. This sounds like my kind of gathering.
Might be your kind of group.
I could definitely watch a TikTok about this. I don't know if I'm going to the theaters to see this, but I can keep up with it. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you informing me about this. Still no on Love Island for next year.
I'm still no. Again, maybe one day my wife's like, "Hey, I like Love Island," and then it'll be my trashy television show. But for now,
I got you. What's your trashy television show now?
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I'd rather watch Love Island if I'm gonna do that. I'd rather watch Love Island if those are my 2 choices.
These TikTok stars, man, they hate each other.
You gotta start. You gotta switch over. Someone asked, "What about Keenan Allen to the Chiefs?" This is why I don't think Keenan Allen makes a lot of sense in Kansas City. He doesn't have any tie to the area or he's never played here before. Usually, if you are making one of these kinds of moves, I'm not talking about you make this move in March like Mike Evans. I'm talking about the middle of training camp, a week before their first preseason game. You're doing it with somebody that, A, knows the system, knows the building, kind of like what they did with Kareem Hunt, kind of like what we just saw with Jadeveon Clowney. Or if you go get Stephon Diggs, Diggs is from D.C. and went to Maryland. A little bit different if you sign with Washington. Now, sure, you got to catch up, but hey, that guy's going to be a fan favorite. He checks the box. He fills a need, all of those things. I would be really surprised if the Chiefs went to go get Keenan Allen at this stage of things. Now, if they had signed him in March, it would have been a different thing. But now, they've done nothing this offseason to make you think that they look at wide receiver as being a problem. And now, as we're halfway through training camp, when their offensive coordinator is not there, they're now throwing a guy like Keenan Allen into the mix. I would just be surprised if that's what they did. I do not think that Keenan Allen is a very viable option. Now, you can sell me that their plan was going to be Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill does not appear to be close to ready to play football. And I don't think it's very realistic to think that, let's say he gets medically cleared in November. If you ain't been playing football up to that point, and now we're throwing you in the middle of the Chiefs are 8-5 and looking to win their division, I'm not throwing Tyreek Hill in the middle of that in the cold weather. That sounds like a very, very terrible plan. I think it's more likely that Tyreek Hill just doesn't play this season and tries to play at the beginning of 2027.
I understand the fan sentiment of Tyreek Hill will be this midseason, addition. Watch out. Does anyone know if he'll be good if they add him? Like, putting aside all the other stuff, a guy who, was he connected to anyone in the offseason? He had another surgery. Like, no one is sniffing around Tyreek Hill. We think he's just going to walk onto a football field in October and be some massive difference maker? I'm leery Tyreek Hill's best football is behind him. I'm leery his entire football career is behind him. I don't know that if the Chiefs signed him in October, he is anything more than when they signed DJ Humphries. Like, I could be proven wrong. Maybe he's healing a lot better than I know, but it feels like 32 NFL teams have said no thanks all offseason.
Yeah, I think Tyreek is seriously injured. I think there's a chance that Tyreek comes back, but if Tyreek comes back, he will be a shell of himself, and he will play 1 year, maybe 2 years for another team in another uniform, and he will quietly go into the night. Tyreek playing meaningful, impactful football, to me, is over. So I'm with you. If your plan is counting on that guy around Halloween time, a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving, to join your team in the middle of a playoff push, yeah, I think you've made a terrible, you've planned very poorly if that's the case. Like, we can look at the Chiefs' schedule here really quickly, Rob. Like, when would you even want Tyreek Hill to come back and you would feel comfortable throwing him into the mix of things? Like, let's say he joins in the middle of the season. Tyreek Hill's first game is going to be at Seattle and at Denver on October 25th and November 1st. They have back-to-back games against two of the top 5 teams heading into the season in the National Football League, back-to-back road games. Like, when would you need Tyreek Hill to be back? A guy who hasn't been practicing, hasn't gone through training camp, hasn't gone through any of those things. When would you feel comfortable throwing him into the mix where you feel like he would be a genuine contributor to your team? I just don't think it makes a lot of sense this year for him.
I think Tyreek Hill's best play for him is to sit out a year, fully rehab, and come back at 100% in 2027 and hope you can refine the magic. But I don't know that he's going to walk on to the Chiefs or any NFL team on Halloween time and just make an enormous impact. I was looking up, do you think he would have a DeAndre Hopkins level impact in Kansas City?
It's so hard to say because of the physical aspect of it.
And by the way, I agree with that. It wasn't like DeAndre Hopkins in Kansas City was some sort of, he really set the world on fire guy. I mean, his time in KC, he had 430 yards. Like, if we think we don't even know if Tyreek can do that, then what are we talking about?
Yeah, someone on the text line says, 913-586-7916. C-Dot, what do you think of Tyler Lockett? Yeah, I think Tyler Lockett's done, number one. I mean, Tyler Lockett played in 17 games last year and had 291 yards receiving. He's 33 years old. He'll turn 34 years old at the end of September. And we all love Tyler Lockett. He's a Wildcat Hall of Famer. You know what the Chiefs don't need more of? 5'10", 180-pound wide receivers. I'm okay. No thanks. I mean, there was a time I would have loved to have Tyler Lockett. The same time that everybody would have loved to have Tyler Lockett when he was 26 through 29. He's now 33 years old. Tyler Lockett has maybe one more season left in the NFL. I'm not interested in Tyler Lockett.
Are we sure he has one left?
I mean, I could just see him being on a team. He just doesn't really play. Kind of like what happened with Le'Veon Bell this last season, or McCoy that last season he played with Tampa Bay. Like, I could see Tyler Lockett being on a team. He plays in 6 games, and then he just retires and does a podcast. Like, that seems to be the career path for people like Tyler Lockett. Great career. Tyler Lockett is not helping you at this stage in his NFL career. He had 291 yards receiving last year, and he played in 17 games last season. Yeah, he's done. He's cooked. It's over for Tyler Lockett. So
he couldn't get on the field last year for the Titans.
Or the Raiders. Or the Raiders. So, no, again, salute to him. He'll be in the Seattle Ring of Honor, their Hall of Fame. He should be. He had a great career in Seattle, played a decade. Maybe he'll live here in Kansas City. Maybe he'll go live in Seattle. More power to Tyler Lockett. Maybe he'll be an assistant coach on the K-State staff. There's a lot of things that Tyler Lockett can do. I'm sure he made good money in the league. Tyler Lockett is not helping your team in 2026. He's not helping your team. All right, coming up on the other side, let's continue to talk about the Chiefs. Stephon Diggs off the board. Jadeveon Clowney also off the board. The Chiefs have communicated something to us. We'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, we've got the broken down vehicle 35 north as you approach 69 Overland Parkway. It is the left lane that is blocked. So scoot to the right through here. You're at least moving slowly, but you're moving. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Why wait until January to make a big career change? You can get started today. At Centric, you can build job-ready IT skills in months, not years, with live instructors, hands-on experience, and career support focused on helping graduates connect with local employers who are currently hiring. Employers know what Centric training represents. Don't spend the rest of 2026 wondering what's next. Start now and step into the new year with a new direction. Centric gives you skills that move you forward. Visit Centric.com today.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
They say 40 is the new 20, and that's because guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are walking around with the testosterone levels of their 20s. If you want that energy drive, the libido of your younger self, then go to Low T Center like the thousands of other men have. Go to fixmylowt.com and book your free T-test today.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope. That's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Sniff the difference.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Cody and Gold are live from the practice field at Chiefs training camp this summer on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, we don't got a lot of time in this segment, so let's get right to it. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. We're off in about 25 minutes because of the Royals. Thought number 1 is this. Teams communicate to us through their actions what they are thinking and what they are feeling. I'm not really too concerned with press conferences or when you guys will say, well, Andy Reid said or Brett Veach said. I don't care about what they say. What do you do? What roster moves do you make that will usually indicate to me what you are thinking and what is actually happening? The Chiefs have communicated 2 very clear thoughts. Number 1, they are happy with their wide receiver room. They did nothing this offseason that would make you believe that they have any area of hesitation about their wide receiver room. In free agency, they brought back Tyquan Thornton and didn't bring in a single veteran that was not on the team last year. You had all the options in the world available to you. You sat down at a buffet and you got the same thing you always get. That means you're happy with your order. When it came to defensive end, now it's a little bit different because they did spend a draft pick there with R. Mason Thomas in the 2nd round. They did spend a 1st-round pick on a D tackle who could potentially help them with the pass rush. But if you wanted them to be a major player to go get a Boye Mafe, Rob, you wanted Jalen Phillips as an example. If you wanted them to go get one of those options at every single turn, they have told you we're happy with what we have. As we've seen some of the injuries mount up. Cyrus Allen gets banged up. Xavier Worthy is dealing with the shoulder injury. Rashee Rice today was his first day practicing in 11-on-11 drills with the team. So their wide receiver room is banged up. The people that do this for a living keep telling you the Chiefs are not making a move at wide receiver. Here's Nate Taylor.
They don't have a lot of money, Carrington. In fact, they have no money as of right now. They would have to make a move to create money to bring on Stephon Diggs, in my opinion. Which leads to, once again, who's on that waiver wire, who got cut on cut down day. Is there any receiver that looked good in the preseason that just didn't quite make their team's roster? And Chiefs fans have to remember this because you were 6-11. You're actually pretty high now on the waiver wire claim. Hey, if something, I know it's going to drive you nuts, Carrington, but hey, what if Juju Smith-Schuster's available? I mean, hey, I think McCole Hardman's making the Buffalo Bills roster, but you never know. You never know.
The wide receiver conversation is over to me. It's over. I'm sitting right here and I'm on ESPN.com. And they do a running tally of best available free agents that are left. They do not have a wide receiver in their top 10. You are not making a move, in my mind, in the middle of training camp to go get a Keenan Allen who does not have any ties to Kansas City and has no ties to the organization. This is not like bringing Jadeveon Clowney back in Houston or Stephon Diggs, who is from Baltimore, Maryland, who went to the University of Maryland, and now he's coming back home to play with the Washington Commanders. The Chiefs don't have those options. They maybe had it with Tyreek Hill, but he's a little bit banged up right now. So I don't care what they say. I'm evaluating what they do. The Chiefs have had every opportunity this offseason to do something with their wide receiver room, and they have told you every single time, we trust the guys that are in this room. They've stood 10 toes down on we believe in Rashee Rice. We believe in Xavier Worthy. We believe that we can coach up Jalen Royals. We believe that Chad O'Shea can work miracles. We believe that Cyrus Allen can be a positive for us. We think there's more to Tyquan Thornton. At this point, we just have to believe them and see if they are right. Now, admittedly, I don't have a good feeling about this. Their wide receiver room has been a problem for 960 consecutive shows. We have been talking about the same stuff with this wide receiver room on August 5th of 2025, and we were having that same conversation August 5th of 2024. We've been doing this for a very long time about their wide receiver room, and I fear that this is going to be a regret that we have in the middle of the season. And it's going to be week 4, week 5, and you guys are going to be telling me how they need to trade a third-round pick to go get fill-in-the-blank wide receiver when they've told you they're not picking up a wide receiver. They've communicated that. The pass rush thing might be a little bit different, and I'm willing to acknowledge that. They do got R. Mason Thomas. They do got Aston Gelati. They do got Peter Woods. We'll see what FAU can provide you. But the wide receiver conversation, it's done. Your parents told you can't go to the party. I'm sorry. You asked, you presented, you told them, hey, I got good grades, I clean my room. Your mom looked at you and said no. That's the end of the conversation. You got to make do that you're watching that party on Snapchat. That's where I am when it comes to the wide receiver room. We'll see if they're right or wrong. We might have this conversation in 2 months and you guys laugh at me and tell me how off I was on this and that I was worried about nothing. But I don't know a single thing that has happened in the last 30 days that would make you feel good about their wide receiver room. Not a single thing that's happened. And if you're telling me the thing that you should be excited about is Cyrus Allen, the 178th pick, the fact that they seem to be so reliant on him being a positive explains why we're having this conversation right now. That's not a great position to be in when it comes to this room. So we don't have to belabor the point, but the Chiefs, they have communicated to us through their actions. They think they got enough at D end. Clowney's off the board. There's not a single rush in outside of Bosa that's in the top 10 available free agents, not a one. And they're not bringing in Joey Bosa. They've had chances to bring in Joey Bosa. They've given no interest and no reason for me to believe they're bringing in Joey Bosa. And the same thing at wide receiver. This is the room. So we'll see if they're right about Rashee Rice. We'll see if they're right about Xavier Worthy. We'll see how quickly Cyrus Allen can get back to health and if he can be a diamond in the rough and a guy that's a major contributor for this team. We'll see if Chad O'Shea can work magic with this wide receiver room and get this team to the next level. Because right now, as we sit here today, this feels like by far and away their biggest weakness. It feels like that to me. And Rob, you know, I was campaigning for Cam Jordan this entire time. I was campaigning for them to go get a pass rusher this entire time. Now that they are in St. Joe, now that we are in camp, I don't know how you feel good about that wide receiver room.
Hey, comment him on the text line. It's something we talked about in the last segment. We can bring it back here for the 5 o'clock audience. I do not believe help is on the way one day with Tyreek Hill. Because I'm seeing on the text line, Well, what about Tyreek as a midseason plan? Hey, keep your eye on Tyreek in October. Hey, Tyreek could become something that helps this team in the middle of the season, so maybe like a trade acquisition type of move. I do not believe Tyreek Hill is a reinforcement. I don't believe Tyreek Hill is a cure-all. I don't believe he will be a Chief because of his injury. So it is a common sentiment, but I believe, to quote you, the problem is the problem. And this was a March, April, May problem the Chiefs punted on. And now it is August, September, October, and they don't have a solution for the problem. And it's going to have to be Chad O'Shea makes Rashee Rice 1,000-yard guy. Chad O'Shea makes Xavier Worthy a 750 to 800-yard guy. Their solution to the wide receiver problem, or their belief that the solution exists, is basically just Chad O'Shea.
Yeah, I'm here. I want to read this text to you guys, and we can keep talking about it. But I guess I would just say this. I would just do the say it out loud test. The Chiefs are banking in 2026 that Rashee Rice is – they are trusting that Rashee Rice can be trusted and Xavier Worthy can be productive, healthy, and take the next step. That's what they're banking on right now. They're banking on those two things. Their wide receiver room is banked on we can trust Rashee Rice and we can get Xavier Worthy to the next level and he can be healthy to get there. So, okay. Perfectly fine. I want to read this really quickly. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, you need to drop this whole wide receiver routine. There's nothing wrong with the wide receiver core that we have. If you can recall, they won the first Super Bowl with Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill. The next two Super Bowls they won, tell me who their best receiver was. There's no name to mention. You're just hooked on this. It's been different ways for 8 years. Stop making this an issue when it's not an issue. You sound like a broken record. Oh, okay, all right. I got it. I mean, if I understand that's one person, I think their wide receiver issue is a severe issue. I think it is a very severe issue heading into the year. And I would also argue that the mentality of, well, it worked for us in the past is kind of what went wrong last year. Of the things that used to work in the past where you could make do with, oh, well, we don't need to be really good at running back because we did it with this guy. Oh, well, wide receiver isn't that big of a deal because that seemed like an idea and a philosophy that expired last season. And I thought we were going to free ourselves from that belief of, well, it worked in the past, so it's going to keep working. Okay, I feel like a lot has changed since then. Your division is noticeably stronger. The Broncos have a better wide receiver room than you have. The Chargers have a better wide receiver room than you have. But okay, I got you.
Is this where we have the conversation about how I say they overcorrected at running back, or are we waiting on that? Because I'm actually...
I don't feel like that, but I know you do.
Because everyone's excited about Kenneth Walker, and we'll put him to the side. That was a must-have. I get it. But DeMarcado and Emmett Johnson could have been wide receivers in this team. Not the players themselves, but the assets they allocated to those players could be at wide receiver right now. Not that DeMarcado's a $20 million player, but you could have found a guy at 1 for 10 in free agency. Emmett Johnson was a luxury pick in the draft. I bet there was another wide receiver, another Cyrus Allen type out there they could have added to the roster at some point in the draft. So we don't have to have that conversation today, but at some point when the wide receivers stink, we will have a asset allocation overvaluing at running back conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Someone says, "See, you're right about this, but we have roster holes. Everybody has roster holes, right?" I think that's a fair point. I guess to me, at least, when looking at the wide receiver room, it is kind of like last year where they had a problem that was clear, staring them in the face. They had a problem that was staring them in the face, and they've done nothing about it. Their wide receiver room is no different than it was at the end of the season. Their wide receiver is no different than it was this exact same time last year. Think about it. Of all the groups on the team to run it back with, was wide receiver your number one suggestion? Think about that. We all watched the same team in 2025. If you had to say, hey, they're not going to change the room at all this year, would any of you have said, you know what? I actually think it's a wide receiver room. No, you wouldn't have said that.
I would say the wide receiver.
That's what they've done. They ran it back at wide receiver.
I would say they ran it back worse. Last year was this group plus Hollywood Brown. Do you think last year's group's better or this year's group? I mean, Hollywood Brown's not some superstar, but you would take him over Cyrus Allen. Come on now.
Yeah, I think last year's wide receiver room is a little better than this. But, I mean,
both are bad. You're right. But
yeah,
it's like,
but I also think it's fair just because I knew that Rashee Rice wasn't going to be there last year, where now I do think they're going to be there this year. I do think that.
That's fair. The suspension to Rashee Rice does loom large last season. But people that sit in the room, I would say it's largely worse.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, there's other things I want to talk about. I don't want to spend the entire time of having this conversation. I just wanted them to go do it. Someone said last year we were happy with our wide receiver room. Even you guys, that was not me last year. We just got wrecked by injuries and suspension. Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne were the names. Who would have helped? Drop some actual names of who we should have drafted. This just feels like complaining. We can go through the names if you want. I'm happy to spend this time looking at moves they could have done.
We can get. I mean, first things first. I was the Juwan Jennings guy, and he didn't sign for $1 billion. He would have been my no DeMarcado move, but there were other wide receivers I was interested in.
Hold on, I'll pull up the NFL draft here. Hold on, give me a second here. I want to offer up the name. I want to offer up a suggestion of what I would have been very happy with them doing. Hold on, let me pull this up. I mean, there's one off the top. I mean, they could have got Jordan Tyson at wide receiver with the 8th overall pick. I mean, he was right there for them to go get. They could have got him. They chose to go get a corner in that situation. Not mad that they went to go get a corner, but we can't make it seem like they didn't have a chance to go get a wide receiver. They absolutely had a chance to go get Jordan Tyson in the top 10. They moved up to 6 to go get Mansour Delane. They made a decision right there to get another corner after they just let 2 go in free agency, where they let Watson go and they let Trent McDuffie go, and they used those assets to go get Mansour Delane when they could have got Jordan Tyson. Now let's see if they're right. Mansour Delane might end up to be Patrick Surtain. Jordan Tyson might end up being a bum. All of those things are possible. But that is the case. With the 29th overall pick, they made a choice to go get another defensive tackle. They chose to go get Peter Woods. They could have got Omar Cooper Jr. Omar Cooper Jr. played on Indiana. If you watch college football, he's the one that made that catch in the back of the end zone against Penn State. They made another decision right then and there to not go get a wide receiver. That's a decision. That's a choice. You had A, you could take the defensive tackle. B, you can take the wide receiver. They chose to go get Peter Woods. If Omar Cook ends up being a good player, they made a decision right there on what they should do. Second round, they did the exact same thing. You chose to go get another pass rusher. Perfectly fine. You chose to go get R. Mason Thomas. You could have got Jeremy Bernard, the wide receiver from Alabama. So we can't make it seem like they didn't have chances to improve the room that they have. You're right. You only get so many resources. But I guess for the conversation of defensive tackle, they addressed it with Kyrus Tonga. You also had Omar Norman, a pick that you've spent at defensive tackle, and you kept loading up in certain positions while other positions continued to go by the wayside, and you didn't refresh the room. So that would be without me even looking at the free agency list. Just they had a choice at the draft, and they chose not to draft a wide receiver.
In free agency, I don't know.
And this part right here, because I think this is a fair question. CDOT, well, if they had drafted a wide receiver, wouldn't we have a hole at corner then? Yeah, but if there was one position that you guys would have gave them the benefit of the doubt on, it would have been a cornerback, and we know that.
Or you could have done exactly what you said. You could have taken Delane at 6 and not Peter Woods at 29 and not R. Mason Thomas. It wasn't just they picked corner one time. They could have picked corner and a wide receiver in the draft.
For sure.
And by the way, so free agency-wise, I'm looking at the cheap contracts. Like, they were never going to be in the Alec Pierce ballgame.
No, they were never getting Alec Pierce.
But, like, for the 1 to 2 year deals, Jahan Dotson got 2 for $15. That's basically what Tyquan Thornton got. Okay, wash. Kendrick Bourne, text line mentioned. Juwan Jennings, text line mentioned. Debo Samuel, just recently, 1 for $4.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. He signed for like $7 million. Yeah,
Christian Kirk, 1 for $3. Darnell Mooney, 1 for $3. Tim Patrick, 1 for $2. Like, those were the names the Chiefs were probably going to be operating in as opposed to Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if they had got Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick on a $2 million deal, I'd have been kind of happy with a Tim Patrick.
Darnell Mooney at 1 for $3. Were the phone not work that day?
Yeah, Tim Patrick's a decent receiver. I mean, he win no Super Bowl because of him, but Tim Patrick would be a good 3rd or 4th option for the Chiefs. I've been happy with a Tim Patrick kind of move. But yeah, I mean, the real time to address that was in the NFL draft, and they waited until the 5th round to address it in the draft.
Why didn't they get Darnell Mooney? I'm just looking at this now. Like, Darnell Mooney would have been perfect for this team.
So, yeah.
29-year-old coming off a 500-yard season.
Someone on the text line says the Bengals and Vikings are proof that wide receivers don't win titles. Is Seattle proof that wide receivers don't win a title? Because, I mean, their best player was a wide receiver. They just won the championship. I mean, the Rams, I feel like Cooper Kupp was actually really, really good that season. They won the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
I mean, the Patriots made a big splash move last offseason. It was at wide receiver to add Stephon Diggs. I know he has a year later been falling out of favor, but when Diggs left Houston to go to New England, that was a major NFL story. They were in the Super Bowl.
I feel like the team that blew Kansas City out in the Super Bowl, they
had better wide receivers.
Fantastic wide receivers. They have a top 10 wide receiver in the National Football League and the last wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy on their team. I feel like being good at wide receiver in 2026 is a very important entity. I feel like it's a very important thing as it becomes more and more of a passing league. And honestly, anytime they've ever given Patrick Mahomes a great pass catching option, they've been phenomenal. Anytime they've given him a really good guy, they've been incredible. Someone said who was the Seahawks' second best player? Was it Kenneth Walker? I actually don't feel like Kenneth Walker was their second best player last year.
Offense or just in general?
In general. I don't think he's their second best player.
Maybe offensively. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I would also like to point out that Seattle didn't really seem that hell-bent on keeping him.
Oh, no, they were actively fine with him walking away.
And we'll see if they made the right decision or not. But, Seattle did what you would advocate for teams to do.
They did exactly what I did.
They chose not to pay Kenneth Walker, and then they spent the first-round pick on his replacement. And they're also going to get Zach Charbonnet back at some point in the middle of the season. So, I like Kenneth Walker. I don't know what you guys think. I don't like Kenneth Walker, but wide receivers, it seems very important.
The Seahawks did not win the Super Bowl because they had Kenneth Walker. They won the Super Bowl because they had JSN.
Yeah, no, so, I just still
have a historic season.
So, yeah, we talk about this longer than I explained on talking about it. But
also, the Rams won the NFC title game. They had 2 elite wide receivers, but I digress.
Now, the text line is here. If they had drafted Jordan Tyson, you would be talking about how he's always hurt. Well, that's just kind of their wide receiver. The wide receivers they got now are always hurt.
I liked Jordan Tyson, but he is always hurt.
I liked Mekhi Lemon. You remember, I was a Mekhi Lemon guy back then.
By the way, he's hurt right now, too.
Yeah, it's going to happen. But yeah, I liked Mekhi Lemon. I was a big Mekhi Lemon guy. I was a big Mekhi Lemon fan. All right, let's shout out Jungle Law, and we'll salute to Salvi as well.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington Hits are brought to you by a friend of the show, Jungle Law. Call the lawman today at Jungle Law, 816-816-9111. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, be sure to call the lawman.
All right, let's talk about this. So yesterday, this is a good way to end the show today. Yesterday, I went to the Royals game. I did not plan on going to the Royals games. The ticket ferry came through very late in the day, and I agreed to go because it was Dollar Hot Dog Day. I don't know. It's just something about the Dollar Dogs. It gets me going. I can't lie. I'm a big fan. So I ended up going out there, and I remembered that they were doing the Salvi celebrations yesterday. Now, because of the show, I didn't get a chance to get there very early before the game. I think I might have got there maybe 3 minutes into the game. It started the top of the first. The game had just started by the time I actually got there. So I missed a lot of the pregame celebration stuff. Maybe they did it, maybe they didn't. I imagine they did. But I get there, and I was unprepared for how emotional yesterday's game was going to be if you were there. I obviously don't know how it was communicated on the broadcast, but if you were there, it was a Salvi celebration is what it was. With the graphic that they had right behind home plate, they put a flag up in right field. They were showing home runs of his throughout the course of the day. So we've all been to a Royals game before. It was basically Salvi home run, hot dog derby. Kiss cam, look back at Salvi's career. They did this the entire day. And as I was there and you're taking it in and you're seeing all these moments of him hitting a home run and Alcides Escobar standing at the top of the steps and doing the hard hands, or seeing Salvi hit a home run and seeing how fired up Lorenzo Cain was. It was a really nostalgic day at Kauffman Stadium, and they won. With them winning always feels nostalgic. And it got me to think that we don't have too many Salvi celebrations left. We have maybe 4 left. Maybe 4. Salvi's last game, Salvi's Royals Hall of Fame induction, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I think Salvi's going to play in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame at some point. I believe that Salvi, we get his number retired at some point. I think he'll get a statue at the new stadium. I think that'll be day one. I think at the new stadium, they will unveil that Salvador Perez has a statue. So we just don't have too many days to celebrate how incredible Salvador Perez is and what he means to us, what he means to Royals fans, what he means to our community, what he means to the city. And as his career is clearly winding down, I want all of us to take time to attend one of these Salvi celebrations. You just forget the amount of things that have happened and the moments and how long he's been around. And it was a lot of fun to be at yesterday's game, and I'm looking forward to the continuation of celebrating the career of Salvador Perez. All right, we are off today. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.